Twitch chat is a place where common sense and reasoning goes to die. At least for the most part. There is some unhinged chatters out there, and I swear to God, some of them aren't even like real people. They feel like figments of an imagination from your worst nightmare, or like lobotomy victims all spouting some nonsensical garbage that isn't even related to what's happening in the stream. But now I'd like to introduce you to the final boss of unhinged Twitch chatter. This guy. Danny sent me this today, and I haven't heard anyone talk about this, which is surprising, because this is one of those, like, weirder stories that I feel people would be talking about from Twitch. So this guy made a statement in an unnamed streamer's chat claiming that he was about to go kill some people in a mass shooting, and then he got arrested for it because the chatters warned the FBI, and they actually acted on it. So he said that mass murder was coming soon in the Twitch chat, and then they actually showed up and arrested this man, and he's now about to face some serious repercussions for this. This is also, surprisingly, like the first time I feel the FBI's ever acted on something like this. I can't remember which mass shooter it was, but one of the mass shooters had made a statement similar to this in a YouTube stream, and the FBI was tipped off about it. And they had already like identified that guy as a person of interest, and they still didn't act on it, and he actually did follow through and kill people. What mass shooter was that? Does anyone remember? Was it Nicholas Cruz? It might have been. But yeah, so I think this is a good thing. I am happy to hear that they took action about that. 100%. With everything that's been going on, this is a fat W. Huge L for this fucking loser, but like a big W for law enforcement. I'm glad they finally bothered to take any level of proactive action here, for sure. Now, when he was apprehended and questioned by authorities, he admitted that the account was his and that the comments were stupid, saying that he was in a dark place, kind of similar to like a YouTuber apology video, honestly. He was saying like he was depressed, intoxicated, and he was recently going through a loss in the family, so he made those comments, which isn't a justification at all for what he said. Like, it's sad to hear that he was going through such tough shit, but that doesn't at all excuse these kind of threats. And I do consider these threats now. This isn't just like nonsensical hoopla tossed out there. I no longer view it as it's just a prank, bro. It's just me goofing around being a little silly, threatening some mass murder. When there have been so many mass shootings, and like I mentioned in the stream, one case just like this where someone made a very similar threat and then followed through on it shortly thereafter. And you see so many times, like almost every time there's a mass shooter, the authorities come out and they're like, yeah, we actually knew that this guy was a threat. We also knew about the things he was saying online. Like, we actually even had him in our custody for a little while. And we gave him a fist bump and told him, like, you know, it's all good now. We looked into your eyes, into the windows of your soul, and we decided you probably won't do it. And then he did it. So we were kind of shocked and almost betrayed that he did it. But yeah, we knew like all of these details. And then you always like are left scratching your head like, well, why didn't you act on it? Like, maybe get guns away from that person or something. So even if this guy wasn't a legitimate threat, he wasn't some Gotham villain about to poison the water supply or start spouting riddles off to Batman, it's still good, and I view it as a very positive thing that the authorities went to investigate, to confirm whether or not this individual had plans to harm himself or others. I'm glad it wasn't a threat that was taken lightly or falling on deaf ears, just because I don't think there's any reason to take that chance anymore when something just like this happened and did lead to a lot of innocent deaths. So I do think this is a good thing, but I have seen a lot of people making the slippery slope argument about, well, if everyone's chats are being policed and you can be arrested for things you say anonymously in a chat room, that could lead to a lot of other things where people are getting punished for really minor offenses. And I can kind of see where that stance is coming from, that perspective, because, for example, eRob, who is a Twitch streamer, nay, that's doing him a disservice. He's more than a streamer. He's a goddamn icon. eRob made a joke with one of his viewers in his offline Twitch chat about beating him up at TwitchCon. It was just a threat made in jest between two people that knew each other, and eRob got reported for it in the offline chat, and Twitch banned him for a whole month because of that threat, even though it was just a joke. And they didn't fall back on the ban. He spent the entire time in the slammer, in purgatory, unable to stream, all because he made that joke that was taken to the principal's office by the hall monitor, and he was unjustly disciplined for it. So I can see why people would then take this situation where this man was arrested after his threats and blow it up to a bigger scale where if this is more commonplace, who's to say authorities won't start just striking people down for really small things without looking at like the bigger context or even bothering to see if they were joking or whatever. Like, I do kind of understand where that's coming from, but I still think at the end of the day, it'd be very dangerous and stupid to ignore threats like this guy was making. Multiple threats about mass murder coming soon, killing 20 people, shit like that. He made himself sound like he was just gonna be fucking piling up corpses in the street. Like, that is something that I don't think should be taken lightly and shouldn't be ignored. So I am happy they stepped in for that. So I do hope they continue to take threats like this seriously, because it could very well prevent a tragedy. This isn't the only time a mass shooter has advertised their upcoming crimes. And while this guy may not have had any plans to do it, some of the other ones have and have followed through on it, and authorities didn't act until it was too late. Now, this does bring me to an extremely important point to mention with this whole subject, and that's the curious case of Josh Palault, whom I've made a video on and who's been on our podcast twice now, because his situation was so unique and fascinating and just at times downright diabolical. This shit grabs your nipples and fucking titty twisters them. Like, his whole case, his situation and everything is unreal to believe that it actually happened. And it's very similar to what we're talking about right now. Josh, quite a long time ago while playing RuneScape and drinking, made a threat on the game about a school shooting. You know, don't go to school the next day, that kind of thing. And the Jagex, the company behind RuneScape, the developers, got tipped off to what Josh had said, and they forwarded that information to the authorities. So then the authorities scoot in sideways, kick down the door, throw the cuffs on him, and then absolutely steam his fucking ham. He received 6 years in prison. This was not a light sentence by any means. 6 full years, which he served the entire term of, because they determined that they had reason to believe he was like an actual possible threat. And I'm not going to get into like the actual nitty-gritty of the case, but with all of the information out there, it feels like it was an extreme case of corruption here that led to him receiving a 6-year punishment. He was a kid who was drinking and saying some stupid, edgy shit online, and it doesn't seem like there was any real evidence to suggest that he was going to go out and hurt people or do anything horrible, that he was just making those shitty, edgy threats. Now, I do think it was right that they stepped in to investigate, just to be sure and just to be safe, but then after they go through the whole song and dance of the investigation, they should have reached the conclusion that this is just an edgy troll. And yes, of course, get slapped with some kind of penalty or charge about making like ridiculous threats online. That's completely fine and understandable. But 6 years because they viewed him like a fucking terrorist made no sense. So I do think with a case like what we were talking about today initially, and comparing it to Josh Palault's case, I do think that there is a level that needs to be had from the authorities where they take these threats seriously, but then they also have to be fair with the investigation, where if they determine it's just some edgy asshole with no real or imminent threat to the people around them, well then charge them for the threats, but don't go the extra mile with this vendetta, this grudge against them where you just want to see them behind bars forever. Now in the case that we're talking about today with the Twitch chatter who made these threats of mass murder, he's currently facing charges of written threats to kill or do bodily harm. Now, that seems to fit the crime. That seems like a punishment that fits the crime. That's exactly what he did. They determined he didn't have any firearms, and they seem confident that he was never actually going to carry out these things. Thus, he's just being charged with the threats of doing these things as opposed to like the potential act of doing them. So I think that overall this whole thing is a good thing from the authorities. It doesn't seem like they're making the same mistake they made with Josh Palault here, where they try and throw the whole book at him, just get the whole kit and caboodle tossed his way. It seems like they know very much what's happening here. They took it seriously, and they're pursuing charges that I think are appropriate for what they've done. Now, I just wanted to talk about this situation because I thought this was a pretty important one. Again, if this was a very unwell individual who was going to carry out something terrible like this, then this would have absolutely just saved lives. And regardless, I think it is still a good precedent to set where you shouldn't be making these kind of stupid, reckless, dangerous threats online in the first place. Like, I do think this charge that he's facing for it is appropriate, and I just wanted to talk about that. That's about it. See ya. I really wasn't planning on weighing in too heavily on this whole MrBeast drama that's blowing up, calling him demonic for his newest video about curing 1,000 people's blindness. Because I feel like the only people that are going super hard on this, you know, making a big hoot and holler, calling it demonic, are people who are terminally online, like a Twitter prisoner, their soul trapped on the platform, forced to tweet 50,000 tweets a year, and pretty much find every possible thing to be upset about. I'm still just not convinced there's any real, breathing, sentient people that actually have these thoughts outside of Twitter. I think Twitter, for some reason, acts as like this exorcism to bring out the dumb demon within everyone. It's extremely easy to go on Twitter and say the stupidest shit imaginable and never register how dumb it is. I don't know, that's just the Twitter brain rot in a nutshell. It's very easy to do things on there and feel like you're being productive, like you made a mean tweet or you complained about something, thus you're improving the world. Anyway, I'm already getting lost in the sauce here. I'll break down the situation. MrBeast made a video a couple days ago where he paid for people's life-changing surgery for restoring eyesight, giving them eyesight for the first time. It was a very big video. Performed extremely well, tons of views, but it also spawned tons of controversy, which isn't surprising at all. I'm sure everyone saw that coming. This wasn't a shocking revelation. It was about as surprising as learning that poop smells bad, because everything is controversial to someone, no matter what. And I know this has been said a million times now, but it is the truth. If MrBeast made a video talking about how he found the cure for cancer and is giving it away to, like, for free for everyone, forever, there would still be a large group of people online that would be comparing him to the Antichrist and saying he's only doing it as a selfish means and it's exploitative. There is just, we've reached this point where everyone has to be mad about something, no matter how positive it is. It's pretty much a giant fucking parody of civilization at this point when it comes to how Twitter responds to shit. But anyway, he makes this video, he pays for all of these surgeries, and he gets blasted on Twitter for it by a large group of people. I'll just go ahead and bring up probably the biggest tweet that people were talking about. It's this one that talks about it being demonic and not being able to explain why, which is always such a beautiful argument. This thing sucks, but don't ask me why, because I can't explain it. It just does, because everything sucks to me. Fuck everyone and fuck everything. Everything's negative. It's a really great point that they're making here, but anyway, this led to a large discussion and people debating, is it even a good thing what he's done here? So let me weigh in here. You know, here comes MrBeast's unpaid PR guy coming out. I think it's a good thing. I think there's a lot of good arguments to be made about the state of medical treatment like this. How 1,000 people could have had life-changing surgery if they were just born wealthier, or if they were a bit luckier with their financials. If they just had a good spawn in life, they could have been able to afford this life-changing treatment and been able to see. But it's been paywalled, and they couldn't afford it. And the only way they were able to get it is because MrBeast wanted to make a video out of it. That's a very real problem. But it's a problem MrBeast didn't create. He's not the supervillain puppet master behind the scenes making these treatments unaffordable. This is so weird to target him. It seems very misguided instead of going after the actual issue at the core of all of this. The gift of sight shouldn't be something that you have to fucking be lucky enough to afford. Treating vision like some kind of DLC paywall package is so fucking awful. A lot of people criticize this because he made a video out of it saying, well, you could have just done this on your own, which you could have, and I always agree that that's a very fine thing to point out. I've always agreed that doing good deeds in private is far more genuine and authentic than doing good deeds for the sake of public brownie points or reputational benefits. A YouTuber making a video, giving homeless people money for 12 hours challenge. Impossible. It's like, oh, that's kind of fucking weird. But I've also always maintained the stance of, yeah, the motivation may have been selfish, but those people did get money that is no doubt going to be helpful for them. So it's a good deed done by a less than good person. And the thing with MrBeast is, he does do a lot of great shit for his community in private. So when he does do these public displays of doing good things, I never get the impression that it's inauthentic or coming from a place of trying to, you know, capitalize on the back of suffering or anything like that. Like, of course, you can obviously tell it grows his brand, so it is mutually beneficial. Him doing good deeds does also benefit him, maybe not financially, but in terms of, like, subscribers and all of that, it does help him. But both things can be true, that he could be genuinely wanting to help people while it also helping himself. But I feel like MrBeast, given his track record, has shown that he does these things to hopefully inspire others, and the money he makes from this content usually goes into other things that help other people, like MrBeast philanthropy, for example. So it's always fueling a greater good regardless. But something that is important to point out is that yes, it does grow his brand. He benefits from this. Even if it's not financially, he obviously is going to take a huge net loss on this because of the price of these surgeries. His brand does grow from it. But I ask, is that a bad thing? For so long, people have called for positive role models to be the people that are successful and popular. And now you have someone like MrBeast, who is the biggest YouTuber, and almost all of his content is focused on improving other people's lives, whether it's directly through financial incentives, through MrBeast philanthropy, food kitchens, paying for 1,000 people's eyesight. Isn't that the exact kind of content you would want to be successful? Let's hop into the septic tank and play around in the shit takes for a moment. Let's say MrBeast is truly rotten to the core and everything he does is driven for selfish gain, of growing his brand and all of that. No matter how you spin it, 1,000 people in this video just had their lives improved for the better. And let's say other selfishly driven assholes watch this video and they see the amazing amount of views on it. Well, they might do the same thing. 1,000 more people get their blindness cured by another YouTuber who wants a ton of views. Also, real quick, MrBeast didn't find the cure for blindness. It's not like he was digging in his backyard, found buried treasure, and it was just like this fucking panacea to cure blindness or anything like that. He is paying for surgery that currently exists. Just wanted to quickly clear that up real quick, just in case anyone keeps seeing these headlines and are convinced that Dr. Beast came in here and found some kind of wild blindness cure. But anyway, it doesn't even matter what the motivation behind the videos or the act is, because no matter how you spin it, there's the immutable fact that 1,000 people just had their lives improved for the better. Even if MrBeast is the result of a fusion dance between Darth Vader and Doctor Doom, it wouldn't change the fact that 1,000 real people just experienced a very real improvement in their life as a result of them making that video. Which in my opinion is a good thing, and I feel like most people should feel the same way. There's plenty to be mad about with the core problem here, which is these people should have already had access to this treatment without MrBeast needing to make a video on it. That I completely agree with. But that doesn't make me mad at MrBeast for doing it. That makes me upset at the system that's currently in place enforcing that. That is the issue, not what MrBeast has done. And I'm so fucking tired of hearing this term poverty tourism tossed around when talking about MrBeast. It just shows such a gross misunderstanding of what that even means. To try and slap that label on what MrBeast does is so fucking off the mark. The worms in your brain must be suffering from parasites. Like, there is so much wrong in your noodle to possibly even think for a second this could be considered poverty tourism. You know what is poverty tourism, and something that a lot of YouTubers have done and is exploitative, is the people that go to, like, when Phidias went to the poorest country in the world, and it's just showcasing, oh, look at how poor they are, and treating everyone there like props for his own video. That's poverty tourism, and I will fully agree that there are cases of people trying to emulate MrBeast, like the example I just used, Phidias, and just completely missing the mark and ending up making a video where it's just, hey, look at all these poor people. Wow, they're so poor. Can you believe they're that poor? Maybe we should do something? Like, that's an issue. Yeah, that content sucks. I don't support that. Fucking nobody supports that. When Phidias posted that video, he got dunked on by everyone on the internet. It's not something people like. But what MrBeast does, I think, is very far removed from poverty tourism. Now, there is one very legitimate complaint directly at MrBeast that I will agree with, and it's the thumbnail. The thumbnail is weird. I definitely think this is one of MrBeast's weirdest thumbnails here. It's like alarming, almost. Like, there's like 1,000 words told in this single picture here, and none of them make any sense. So yeah, I think the thumbnail is very odd. But yeah, thumbnail aside, I think what he's done is a good thing, obviously. And I don't really know how you can even justify through mental gymnastics why it's bad and why you hate him for it. It just doesn't really compute with me. What you're actually mad about is an issue he had nothing to do with. Again, I don't think people should have to rely on a YouTuber looking to make a big video in order to get life-changing surgery. That is the issue. It's not so much the YouTuber that pays for that surgery. That I think is just, no matter how you spin it, a good thing for the person. I'm really tired of people speaking on others' behalf, getting offended for other people that they're not involved with and they don't know. I've seen a lot of people attribute feelings to the 1,000 people in these videos saying, man, they must feel so used and exploited. They must feel so violated that Jimmy used them here for a viral video. Well, I'm going to make a counterpoint. What the fuck are you talking about? Do you know them? Huh? Was that you in the video? Your family member? Your friend? I doubt it. Highly doubt it. How are you going to speak for them? How are you going to be mad for them and try and tell everyone what they were likely experiencing? I would wager a guess they're experiencing a high level of happiness. I bet they were thrilled to have eyesight. Would be my guess. So yeah, anyway, that's really my take on the whole situation. I think this drama is one of the sadder ones I've seen in quite some time because I feel like this is just something most people should be celebrating. Like, hey, the biggest YouTuber is doing good things as opposed to degenerate shit like most people online. I think that's something to be happy about. There's 1,000 people whose lives have just been improved. I think that's a good thing. Like, I think that's a big thumbs up. There are issues you can talk about as a result of this, and there is a really good discussion to be had about like the actual core thing regarding the surgery and the cost of these kind of procedures. I think that's a good conversation to have, but I don't know why it comes back to MrBeast being a bad guy for paying for the surgery. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. That's about it. So yep. I've been debating talking about this topic for the last couple of days, but it's such an awful situation I really didn't want to. I was hoping that it would have settled down by now, but it's only been getting more popular, so I figured I might as well at least discuss it before it gets fully out of control. Right now, the worst content creators on YouTube are getting millions of views and making thousands of dollars by following one disgusting, shameful trend. And I know that sounds like one of those old banner ads on porn sites. This ugly piece of shit's fucking hot moms in your area, and you can too. Doctors hate him. Click here to find out how. But unlike those ads, I'm not making this up or exaggerating. Right now, there are tons of degenerate loser scumbags that are trying to use the passing of Technoblade as a way of gaining subscribers and making lots of money, either by clickbaiting videos with Technoblade in the title, or by making 10 or 20 plus videos all about the passing of Technoblade in order to get the maximum juice for the squeeze from the AdSense. It's so disgusting and shameful. It's fucking vile. I'm certain all of you have heard by now, but just in case, Technoblade was a very large creator on YouTube. He had a massive audience and was a very influential and inspirational creator to a lot of people and channels. And unfortunately, he passed away recently. His father made a heartbreaking video going over the whole situation, and it's just been really sad. So obviously a lot of people on the internet have been mourning the loss of Technoblade. However, there's been some extremely twisted, sick fucks that have tried to use this situation as a way of financially gaining. It's like some actual villain shit. Like Mr. Krabs with dollar signs in his eyes once they saw that Technoblade passed. They immediately started making videos on it, clickbaiting him, and really trying their best to capitalize off the passing of an absolutely great person. I'm not going to show you very many of them because obviously a lot of it is just done for the attention, like the rage clicks. They just want to farm as many views off it as possible, so I'm only going to show a couple here. This first example comes from a channel named It's Owen, and of course this video they posted isn't real, it's just clickbait. And I was actually familiar with this channel before they posted this video, because this channel was notorious for dogshit clickbait. He'd constantly post things like, I met MrBeast and he was very mean to me, even spit on me, parentheses, very rude. Or, MrBeast forgot to stop recording and his wiener fell out, yucky. Oh, and then also some shit like, a fan asked PewDiePie for an autograph and ended up in the hospital because PewDiePie beat him within an inch of his life, parentheses, not nice at all. Just awful garbage. I have more respect for shit stains in a gas station urinal than I do for Owen, but at least there's a happy ending here because Owen did get banned for this, and he's whining on Twitter about it right now. He checks in almost hourly to see if YouTube's decided to overturn their decision, and we can only pray they don't. Justice has at least been somewhat served with Owen being off the platform, but from what I understand, he actually has another account, or even a couple other accounts. Going back on his Twitter timeline, it seems like he has a side hustle of creating YouTube accounts, posting absolutely abominable clickbait on them in order to gain subscribers quickly, and then selling those accounts, as well as the play buttons associated with them. I will say though, I am a little bit skeptical of the Twitter account here because it only has 560 followers despite the YouTube channel having almost 4 million. But I could also see why it wouldn't have any followers, since his content is only clickbait that people click on for 10 seconds and then leave. Even like 4-year-old toddler baby brains on autoplay. And then they'll just accidentally subscribe. So they wouldn't exactly follow him to Twitter. And he is having like a dialogue with YouTube, so I'm assuming this is the legitimate account. His newest post is also super embarrassing. It just says "new bitch" with him pinching a girl's ass. I don't know how people get delusional enough like this to think that these pictures are cool. I guess in his head he thought this was pure epic style flex, but in reality he just looks really goofy and silly. He's wearing a fucking hat that says "icon" on it, despite no one knowing who he is. He is a faceless clickbaiter. And I wouldn't be surprised if this girl has no idea who he is. He just convinced her, like clickbaited her, into thinking that he was the brother of Napoleon Dynamite. But of course, Owen isn't alone in being this shameless. Yes, he was a massive hemorrhoid that YouTube has thankfully removed, but there's still plenty more plaguing the butthole of the platform. I'm not going to show many others, but there are a ton of other YouTubers that are making content just like Owen did that he got banned for. Clickbaiting the passing of Technoblade. Now let me move on to the next big channel that I'd like to show you. This is Dream SMP Official, except it's not official, and it's just doing the best it can to monetize the passing of Technoblade. They have posted 25 Technoblade videos since his passing.
My heart goes out to his family and loved ones. Hug those that are close to you. Tell the ones that you love them.
That's the content that he's posting around the passing of Technoblade. A screenshot of Dream SMP member posts being read by text-to-speech. And he posts a video on it and monetizes it. He has made thousands of dollars from this over just the last 4 or 5 days. And I believe Microsoft Sam is entitled to at least a good portion of that because he's got text-to-speech working overtime on this shit. Posted 25 videos on the passing of Technoblade. And this is operated by one person whose name is Runalong. And they were confronted in Discord about it. This is confirmed to be run by Runalong because if you click the Twitter associated with his account, it goes to his Twitter and the Discord. So it is not actually owned and operated by Dream SMP. It is just someone that's piggybacking off it and profiting big time. So in a Discord interaction, a user says, why don't you have the charity link to the side? Like, look at this video by Techno. And they mention the feature where you can add fundraisers to videos, which immediately put a donation option for viewers, which is right to the side of the video. It's used by a lot of people. And when asked about this, Runalong says, people can donate with or without it. I'm still giving a portion of my money away. Going a bit deeper, he says that he'll provide screenshots as well when he receives it. To which they respond, but I have another question. Why so many videos about Techno? I counted 17, so this is probably like 4 hours old because he's already posted an additional 8 videos since this interaction. I understand it's important and breaking news, but 17 is so many. He says, the more I get, the more I can give back. And to which they respond, and the more goes into your own pocket too. Which is absolutely correct. Since he's only giving a portion away, the more videos he makes taking advantage of Techno's passing, which is such a fucked up thing to even say out loud, the more he does that, the more money he is making. And yeah, I suppose by extension, the more money he gives away to charity, assuming he even does that, which I highly doubt. But regardless, this is dog shit. Every person right now, YouTube commentators who have made 9 or 10 videos on Techno's passing, all of them are hiding behind this, I'm giving the money to charity though, so I'm a good guy thing. All of them are using it as a way of deflecting criticism, when in reality it's blatantly obvious all of them are vultures trying to use this situation as a way of gaining subscribers and engagement. That's just the pure factual meat of it right there. There is no way of justifying making 9 or 10 or 25 videos on a tragic situation like the Technoblade situation. There's just no way of ever convincing me that what you're doing actually has a noble cause. There's one commentator in particular who's been in some hot water recently, being called out by a lot of different channels. I'm not going to show them because, again, mainly they do these things for attention and just cheap clicks, and plus I don't want anyone to go over and harass them or anything. But they've posted, I believe, 9 or 10, maybe even 11 videos all on Techno, and they have been trying to take this high road of all of the money that these are generating is going to charity. And then they gave an update saying, we've raised like $1,000 for charity thanks to these videos. But the videos have like, in total, like 3 million views. So bare minimum, that should be like 2.5 to 3K. So they're already being disingenuous with what they're actually making off the situation. All of them are using this as a way of milking a very great YouTuber's unfortunate passing. And they know it, the audience knows it, but they're trying their absolute best to spin it in a way that helps them sleep at night or doesn't make them look like an irredeemable piece of shit to their audience. As this was rendering, I think it's only fair that I mention that the YouTuber I'm referencing posted a video showing that they donated 3K to the charity in the Technoblade tribute. The videos actually earned about 2.7K, which he showed, and then he put in an extra 300 of his own money to get the 3K. And that's cool, that's good, money going to charity. But it doesn't at all change my opinion of him or what he was doing. It doesn't matter if you give every penny that those videos generate to a charity, because that's not the only way you're profiting from the situation. This commentary channel I just mentioned has gained 16,000 subscribers over the last 4 days, where usually they experience 1,000 subscribers per month. So in 4 days, they have 16x'd their normal monthly gain. That's fucking wild. What are you gonna do? Start donating subscribers to a charity as well to make up for it? You're not the good guy, no matter how hard you pretend to be. It's more than just profiting like actual dollars from AdSense. You have gained so many subscribers off of this situation. And even if all of the videos were not monetized, like if all of the Dream SMP videos weren't monetized, all 25 of them had no monetization at all, same with the commentary videos, even if none of them were monetized, you are still directly putting your mouth on the teats of this and milking it and capitalizing off of it. It's always great to celebrate a donation to a good cause, but that doesn't mean you have to celebrate the person that did it. Now, I want to make it clear before things get mixed up here, I don't think there's anything wrong with making a video on Technoblade, like a tribute to Technoblade, talking about them, going over what they meant to you, as well as just the internet as a whole. I think all of that's very positive and wholesome and can be great. And donating the money that those videos make through AdSense to charity is even better. But there is never a situation where you're gonna do that 8, 9, 10 times genuinely. Like, there's just no reason for it. That's milking it. That's taking advantage of it for your own personal gain. There's being respectful, and then there's being shameful. And it's very clear where most of these fall. Videos like what I just showed you from Dream SMP, from Owen, as well as touched on from commentators, where it's exceeding like this crazy amount of content all surrounding a tragedy, that's absolutely milking it and being disrespectful. And while we're already on this topic, there's another really awful trend that I want to bring up in this same general ballpark, and this happens with every celebrity passing ever on YouTube. There's always going to be those children that come from loveless, broken homes that'll make a video talking about why it's a good thing the celebrities died, or summoning that dead celebrity at 3 a.m., or they're in hell, burning in hell, all of that awful, disgusting shit. That's unfortunately been happening with Technoblade, and a lot of people have been posting that content all around the internet, and people have been sharing it in order to go to the video and leave hate messages, and that's exactly what they want from you. The reason those videos get made is for those hate messages in the comments. They're done in order to get quick views from people that are outraged by the content. They're doing it as outrage bait to farm engagement that way. So the best thing to do with that is completely ignore it. That's existed for a few years now in like a big way, and it's probably going to continue to exist, and the only thing you can do is not go over there to give them any sort of attention at all. It'll eventually just die out once they realize no one gives a fuck about them. They're faceless losers in real life, but online they can have some kind of presence by making people mad at them, and that attention is the only thing that gives them some level of comfort in life. It's sad, it's pathetic, but you have to just be strong enough to resist the temptation to insult them on the video, because by going to that video, giving them that view, giving them that comment, you're doing exactly what they want from you. So I just wanted to put that out there. I hate that shit, but you have to just ignore it. I think that covers pretty much everything I wanted to talk about today with this awful trend going around on YouTube. And yeah, that's really about it. So yep. One of the largest streamers on the planet just caught a permaban from Twitch. Adin Ross. I'm sure this is a name you've heard of by now. He's absolutely blown up over the last couple years. And last night, he got banned again. This is far from his first rodeo. He's actually a veteran in this field. He's gluttonous when it comes to Twitch bans. He's eaten those puppies like muffins out of the oven. This is his 8th ban, and by far his most severe. As of right now, it seems like this is a permanent ban from the platform, and just like the mystery of why I'm so short, the reason for it is unknown as of this moment. However, a lot of people, including myself, have been speculating as to what the cause could have been. Recently, there's been this unholy floodgate, like a dam that's broken in the mind of Adin Ross's brain, that's led to him making the worst decisions imaginable over the last couple months. So you might not be familiar with Adin Ross Twitch streams, but you've probably heard his name because this goofy goober streamed the Super Bowl on Kick. He just streamed the entire Super Bowl watching it without permission from the NFL. It's not like he had some kind of like back alley handshake deal with Fox or the NFL to rebroadcast it. I'm pretty sure Adin Ross can't even spell the word license, so he didn't have the rights to restream that shit, but he just still fucking went hog wild with it. Now, nothing has come from it yet. I don't know if anything will. As I understand it, in cases like this, the lawsuits take a couple months before they start to actually form. So if they do decide to pursue action, it probably wouldn't have happened now anyway. It'd still be a couple months out. That's if they even decide to. Then there's no telling if they will. But clearly it's a huge no-no to freely rebroadcast without the rights the biggest American broadcast. You can't do that. It's illegal. Now, let's say you haven't heard of that fumble that Adin Ross recently did with the Super Bowl thing. Maybe you've heard of him over the last week or so because he also just freely streamed porn on Kick. While streaming, Adin Ross decided to go to Pornhub, I guess to make a point about how you can do anything on the site. And he just he showed porn to his audience, and keep in mind, a lot of his audience is very young. They're minors, they're actual children. Now, he's not going to face like a felony charge from this that I've seen a lot of people say he might, because in the stream title, I believe he had 18 plus there, which I guess is a legal safety net for him to fall back on. But everyone knows Adin Ross viewers are skewed very, very young. So it's still a very fucking creepy and weird thing to do, especially with that audience and on stream. Now, what makes this really interesting is how hypocritical it is, because Adin Ross has recently come out very hard against porn. He's taken up the Master Shield and he's blocking anything sexual. He's made these very huge statements about how porn will ruin your life and addiction to porn is gonna send you straight to hell and it's gonna make everything in your life miserable. And he's not wrong. Addiction in any form is life-ruining. Porn addiction is a super insidious one that absolutely does ruin lives. But he's taken this stance of porn is the devil. It's the ultimate evil. And then he turns around and watches porn on stream. He just hasn't been making smart choices. It's just been one bad decision after another from him recently. And also, it didn't help that a few clips from his previous streams started going viral on Twitter, and people were calling him racist for those clips. Now, I haven't seen all of them. I've only watched one of them, and to me, it seemed more like a shitty joke that was poorly done, as opposed to evidence of him being a legitimate racist. But I haven't seen all of them, so I don't really know for sure or anything like that. But the only reason I'm even mentioning those clips is because this is another thing people are pointing to as a potential reason for his Twitch ban. But anyway, after his ban on Twitch, he did go live on Kick like an hour or so later in order to talk about the whole situation. And my god, that devolved into complete unhinged lunacy. Holy shit. That went wacko mode off rip. It was brutal. He went from like talking about the general situation immediately into trying to bring on actual Nazis. And I don't use that fucking word lightly. I hate that the word Nazis becomes so meaningless and watered down. Literally everyone gets called a Nazi now if it's even a slight disagreement on even a trivial opinion. When I say Nazi, I mean an actual neo-Nazi, a self-proclaimed Nazi. Adin Ross wanted to bring on to stream to learn from, I guess, or interview. Super weird idea. He was on some goofy shit. He even asked Trainwrecks if men can get raped, and then made it seem like he doesn't think that's possible. Like, that whole concept of a man can also be the victim of rape. Like, that was lost on him. Like, it didn't compute in his mind.
So just keep your eye there. You know what I'm
Train,
saying? Keep your eye on every
I have a
corner.
question. Can guys get raped?
Yes.
Guys can get raped?
Yes.
Can you give me an example?
It works the exact same way. It just, right? Like, We can talk about it later, and you can ask me, and we can clarify things. But yes, men can get raped too. Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Train.
All right, bro.
Thanks, Train.
It's baffling that that even needed an explanation for him. And the fact that he even got combative about it, like, give me an example, is super concerning. You can hear Train is also surprised and stunned, like, what? Like, you can't be serious. But this is, again, just only another small piece of how off the rails this stream went. So it devolved into absolute wild madness, much to the chagrin of Trainwreck being one of the owners of Kick. Train was literally in a call with him trying to, like, talk him down from these terrible ideas and literally advising him not to do half the shit that he wanted to because of how bad it made the entire site look and what that opened the site up to and the reputational risk associated with all of it. So it was just a complete disaster from top to bottom, but he did say something that shed light on his ban.
Did they tell you why you got banned, or like not them specifically, but like in the email?
Yo, Blood, thanks for the host, bro. Okay, so yes. I got banned for basically... I don't know if I should say that publicly. My legal team is advising me not to, but
And don't say it, yeah.
But Train, what I will say is this though. What I got banned for makes no sense because I haven't. It said all I can say is that it occurred on. It says it occurred on stream or on VOD. It wasn't occurred like somewhere else. It basically was occurred on my stream or on my VOD. So it makes no sense. Does that make sense?
A little confusing here, but as I understand it, Twitch is claiming that something Adin Ross did happened on their service, whether on stream or on one of the Twitch VODs, and it seems Adin disagrees with that, thinking that whatever they're talking about happened elsewhere. I believe is the situation. It's a little hard to follow since he and his team aren't revealing what exactly the reason is, but it seems they were given a reason, which is more than a lot of people get. Usually with a Twitch ban, they don't ever tell you what the fuck you got banned for, you just have to guess yourself, which is always such a fucking headache. And I also think this highlights a problem with Twitch and the way they handle bans. I don't understand why they don't just publicize the reason themselves. That would make every situation significantly more transparent for everyone, the streamer, the community, literally everyone. Unless it's like an actual legal matter, I don't see why they don't just reveal the violation that the streamer made. But I'm getting a little sidetracked. Adin Ross did get banned on Twitch. They did give him a reason. They haven't revealed it. Him and his team have not revealed what it is yet. I don't know if they will or if they're planning to anytime soon, but they do have a reason, and it seems Adin thinks it's nonsense, and it seems like whatever they're pointing out as the cause, they're arguing happened on their platform, while Adin seems to disagree with that. But yeah, that's where this whole situation's at. This happened while I was streaming last night, so I saw most of it unfold in real time. I'll go ahead and play you some clips where I started making other speculative guesses, some potential game theories on what Twitch may have slapped him for. I don't think any of them are good reasons. If any of these are accurate, I don't think they are, but I'll still show you these anyway, just in case one of these does turn out to be one of the actual reasons. I'll look like a fucking genius for getting it right, I suppose. Though again, I don't necessarily think any of these are good reasons. This must have actually just happened, like, during this stream right now. Because there is nothing on Twitter about it. Here, let's check LSF. Usually they're hot on the case of everything. Nothing on LSF. Oh, no, wait, here. It's in the Rising from 10 minutes ago. Yep, Adin Ross just got banned. Did he do anything recently on Twitch? I know he showed the porn on Kick and all that, but did he do anything on Twitch? Oh, true, he did make that statement about moving the Kick. I don't know if that's a violation of Twitch's terms or something. They didn't ban Ninja when he moved to Mixer. He went live on Twitch saying he's live on Kick. Is he live right now on Kick talking about it? Well, immediately got porn. I just wanted to see if he was live, and it's just immediately porn. But yeah, I don't know if that's true with what Chatter said there. If you go to the streamer bans, it says the ban was 12 minutes ago. Yeah, this is fresh. This is right off the press. This shit still got steam coming out of it. Well, it looks like he's gonna have to really jump in with both feet on Kick now since he's no longer got Twitch. Hope you already signed that contract, because if not, oh boy. I hope for Adin's sake he already signed that Kick deal, because otherwise Kick is going to negotiate the fuck out of him to bring it way down. They made him a seriously high offer. It wasn't 150 mil, but they gave him a bag. like offered him a bag to move to Kick, but that was under the assumption that he'd have Twitch. Like they had to get him off of Twitch because he's already got a huge audience on Twitch. But if that's gone, they no longer need that bag because he has really not many other options. YouTube's not going to pay him to go to YouTube, I doubt. So Kick is going to really negotiate hardball on him, I think. So hopefully he already signed that contract. Otherwise, he just missed out on a lot. God damn. They must have accidentally CC'd Twitch reps on those contract negotiation emails and they wanted to fuck him up. He can still go to Facebook Gaming. True. There's always Facebook Gaming, I guess. No, I don't think they banned him because of his whole Kick stuff. Because, I mean, Train literally owns Kick, or at least a part of Kick, and he still actively streams on Twitch. He's not banned. So I don't think that was their reasoning for it. Something must have happened, or, maybe they actually did take the off-platform porn broadcast into consideration. I really couldn't tell you. Why was his Kick stream bannable on Twitch? I don't know if it was or not. I'm only speculating on potential reasoning, because I don't think he was live over the last couple days. I'm just taking spitballs, just like everyone else. Is the kill yourself thing bannable? Again, I don't know if Twitch actually enforces the off-platform behavior rules. I think that was just meant as like a scare tactic, like a little boogeyman thing to keep in mind. The whole kill yourself thing was the message he sent to Jake, who reported on him streaming porn on Kick. He sent him a message saying, keep yourself safe, KYS, and then like a little smiley face at the end. I don't think that would have been why Twitch banned him. I have no clue. I'm sure you've already heard the tragic news. You might still be in tears about it, and I'm not really here just to reopen the wound and pour salt in it, but I think it's important we talk about what's going on. Last night, Pokimane was banned from Twitch. She was banned for watching Avatar: The Last Airbender on stream, but she took it like a champ. She was making a joke about it, saying the Fire Nation attacked, but they're releasing her in 48 hours, so she got a 48-hour suspension for it. This DMCA was handed down by Viacom, the fucking boogeyman of the internet. You do not want to mess with Viacom. If you even think you accidentally saw a clip of something Viacom owns, make sure that you scrub everything. Call your fucking lawyers immediately, and make sure when you go to bed, you're sleeping on your back. You don't want to sleep on your stomach in that case, because Viacom will come in while you're asleep and fuck you in your ass. Viacom is ruthless with how it enforces its rules and its copyright. Viacom will go through your goddamn 8th grade report card, check your SAT scores, look for any parking violations you might have had, and they will just look for anything to slap you with and ruin your life over. They are truly relentless. You might not remember this, but back in 2007, Viacom sued YouTube for $1 billion. Viacom alleged that YouTube was engaging in brazen copyright violations where they were profiting off of their copyrighted work with all of these creators uploading their material, which is illegal. And they sued YouTube. It took 3 years for the first decision, which was in YouTube's favor, but then Viacom came back. Some of it was overturned, but ultimately in 2014, YouTube did come out on top. But while YouTube may have won, creators still lost, because do you know what came as a result of this? The automated copyright system, which is still being abused and broken to this day. This situation's super similar to what's happening on Twitch right now, with creators brazenly engaging in copyright violations where they're knowingly broadcasting copyrighted work in their entirety, and they know full well and openly admit that it is a DMCA problem and they just want to see how far they can push it. And when people bring up that this could have a bigger impact on the site than just their personal streams, they usually are just met with the streamer saying they don't really care. They'll just take the DMCA ban for 2 days and then be back like it's no big deal, which is a pretty selfish and silly take, because there is clearly a history they can look at to see how it negatively impacted the entire platform. I'll get into that a bit deeper in a moment, but just off the top of my head, if I had to quickly spitball a potential apocalypse, like an upcoming doomsday if this problem continues, I feel like Twitch might just revert to how it was back in like 2015, where they outright frown upon reaction content on their platform, where they don't really allow YouTube videos to be played and watched on Twitch. Back then, if I remember correctly, even some big streamers did receive like some warnings or even a ban from watching YouTube content. The meta for watching and reacting to content back then was you'd have the big screen, like the main screen, be RuneScape or League, whatever game, and then a small box in the corner for the YouTube video you were reacting to. That's how people skirted that policy, where they just didn't like them doing that back then. So I feel like if this trend continues of just watching full movie series, full TV shows, full seasons of anime, Twitch might just rip the condom off and say it's not worth it anymore. We're not taking this risk. We obviously can't trust our streamers to watch shit on the platform anymore. They're just blatantly disregarding DMCA laws. We're going to pull the plug on YouTube and reaction content, because as more companies get alerted to this, it could be more of a disaster for Twitch. They might just feel that it's better and safer for them to just not allow it. Again, it was frowned upon back in 2015, early Twitch days. YouTube as a streaming service already doesn't allow its streamers to watch YouTube content on there. Ludwig's been banned fucking 3 times in a row for it. So the precedent's already there, where watching YouTube content on other people's streams, is in a super weird gray area. And by these big streamers constantly poking this bear of like, hey, we don't care about DMCA, look what we're doing, it could be a much bigger problem for not just them, but everyone. Because if Twitch does go this route and get rid of reacting the content, that hurts a lot more than just the top 20 biggest streamers. That's a big blow to like everyone who streams on the platform and does more than just gaming from time to time. Again, not saying that's going to happen, but I could definitely see it as a possibility. And she's not the only one that's just been watching full movies and TV shows on stream. It's become kind of the Twitch meta at this point to just watch entire movies and anime. So this whole thing led to a bigger conversation of people asking, how stupid are Twitch streamers? Just a lot of people online everywhere just saying how fucking dumb streamers are. This is something I think everyone saw coming. I don't believe there's anyone in the world that's surprised by this DMCA here. I don't think anyone just fucking shot back in their chair, just shocked and spilt apple juice all over themselves going, hey, what do you mean I can't watch my favorite streamer watch the new Spider-Man movie that they downloaded on the Pirate Bay and stream on Twitch? What kind of bullshit is this? What happened to freedom? Obviously, watching full movies, TV shows, and anime is going to get you in trouble on Twitch. You can't do that. Thinking otherwise is like believing in the fucking tooth fairy or flat earth. Like, there is very clearly a line of things you can and can't watch on Twitch. And watching the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy uninterrupted is definitely crossing that line. I'd like to go ahead and quickly jump into the fair use debate and tackle that bad boy, because I see a lot of people defending this by saying this falls into fair use. Fair use is a law that's fucking lost all meaning to people on the internet. It has been bastardized beyond recognition. Fair use means less than the word literally now. People use this for defense of everything, even when it's not applicable, like in this case. You can't take, like, Jake Paul versus Logan Paul boxing match. You can't take that and put it on Twitch, even if you're just commentating over the whole thing. You can't do that. You may have paid for that match, but you can't just freely broadcast it to people who can't, no matter what you do to it to transform it. That is no longer fair use. Fair use is applicable when you're taking pieces of copyrighted content for critique, for review, for satire, for parody. You can take pieces of it and showcase it for your points on the topic and transform it, but you can't just take the entire copyrighted work, like the entire Avatar: The Last Airbender show, and freely broadcast it to people that haven't paid for the service to watch it. That's not how that works. That's not protected by fair use. Like right now, the front page of Twitch is kind of looking like the old Artifacts section from a couple years ago, when that was basically just this cum dumpster for pirated movies and porn. If you guys remember that, Artifact, God rest its soul, used to be this place on Twitch where you just go and watch like the new Avengers movie or watch porn with the chat. It was wild time. That's kind of evolved now, and now we're reaching like its final evolution, where now the biggest streamers on the platform are just watching, pirated content or just full movies and shows that they may have purchased and are now rebroadcasting for people that haven't, which is a problem. So I'm not going to name any names. I'm not here to snitch, even though it's not like some kind of well-kept secret. This isn't something flying under the radar, because a lot of the top 20 biggest streamers on the site are the ones watching this anime and TV shows in their entirety. This isn't exactly something that's going on in dark alleys and talked about in hushed whispers. There's like fucking 40,000 people per stream watching the streamers watching anime. So it's not exactly like you have to go to fucking deep web to find it. It's literally like on the front page sometimes. But even still, I'm not going to name any names here. I'm not here to raise my hand in front of the class and call somebody out for chewing gum or anything. Now, it's no secret that I also watch a lot of YouTube content on my Twitch streams, watch some clips from shows on my streams. In fact, last night I did a YouTube night at twitch.tv/moistcritical, baby. We got real fucking wild last night. You definitely don't want to miss it again. I'll put a link in the description to the streams. when I'm watching YouTube shit on stream, it's usually really obscure shit that has like less than 1,000 views filmed on a Motorola Razr, or it's content that I'm pausing to talk about in order to make a topic out of or joke with the chat about it. Like, for example, when we watch the scary, haunted, cursed videos, like Nuke's top 5 ghost sightings that'll make your mother spit on you because she's so afraid of these videos. I'll pause it, talk about paranormal garbage, or joke about the video back and forth with the chat, and usually just like to make it a transformative piece where it never really feels like I'm just rebroadcasting someone else's content. I just usually like to stay away from like the big TV shows and shit like that. But now in the past I haven't. You know, like 2 years ago I used to watch a lot of MasterChef, which has become the trend on Twitch right now to watch MasterChef. I was doing that fucking 2 years ago, baby. I was the pioneer, the goddamn founder of MasterChef. I made that goddamn show, damn it. So yeah, like back then I would watch MasterChef and shit, and even recently, like a year ago, I was watching the Yu-Gi-Oh! Singapore dub, which again is definitely in that gray area of, is this DMCA-able? And the answer was probably yes. It was an unofficial upload of the Singapore Yu-Gi-Oh! Dub that I was watching, because I thought the Singapore dub was great, since they only had like 4 voice actors to do the entire show, and they did it in English, where the translation was dreadfully wrong. Like Blue Eyes White Dragon was called like the Blue Lizard Platinum Squirter or something. It was a lot of fun, and I did react to that content on Twitch. But yeah, that was probably a DMCA risk as well. So I've steered clear of that for the last year or so because I want to make more of a conscious effort to not skirt this gray area that would lead to maybe a potentially bad situation for the whole platform. But with this trend right now, the new Twitch meta to be just broadcasting copyrighted material, there's a big problem that can arise from this, and I'd like to get into it now. So, like with the YouTube versus Viacom case, that very well could happen on Twitch with what's going on right now. And who knows if it will or not. Maybe it really will just be people getting DMCA'd for 2 days here and there if they continue to do it, and that's where it ends. They wash their hands of it and it never goes further. Every streamer was losing their minds about the DMCA because of music, where they'd have like copyrighted music that would play in the background and they get a strike or ban for it from years of content. And people made such a big hoopla about it, like, this is unreal, this is so, we hate the DMCA, we don't ever want to mess with them, we're so afraid of them, so everyone deleted all their clips and scrubbed their VODs. And now fast forward to today where they're openly encouraging DMCA to like enforce rules on the Twitch platform against them. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. It's very similar to the Viacom versus YouTube case, but I also think Twitch is in a worse spot than YouTube was because Twitch can't make the claim YouTube did of they don't know whether or not the content being uploaded is paid for and licensed or if it is illegally uploaded. Twitch knows all of it that's on Twitch right now is illegal broadcasting of copyrighted material. And they can't pretend they don't know what's going on because it's the biggest streamers on the platform that's doing it. And even in some of the streams, Twitch staff will literally subscribe and engage in a conversation about the anime. I've seen that in a couple streams now, which is, it's fun and goofy, but it's also illegal. So Twitch can't make the same claims YouTube did back in 2007. They know all of it is not licensed because the streamers are very forthcoming with their honesty that we know this is DMCA, but we don't care. They are openly saying we're just pushing it to see how far this meta can go. It's obviously a very dangerous game to be playing. While I don't think Twitch will ever see an automated copyright system like YouTube implemented, it will probably see something equally as strict. If I had to guess, if this does continue, I would imagine Twitch at some point will just outright ban the watching and reacting of other people's content on their platform. I think that's the most likely result if this problem continues or even escalates, and as more companies get alerted to it, I feel like that's really the only thing Twitch would do. That'd be their only course of action. Because right now, the way it stands, Twitch just says, we don't take responsibility for what they're broadcasting. If you have a problem with it, you will manually go and take it down. And that's worked so far, but that's because most streamers have understood not to just play movies and TV shows. Up until like 2 weeks ago, that's just been the understanding streamers have had with Twitch. Like, hey, we know that you're giving us a lot of leeway with what we're allowed to watch on Twitch, so we'll return the favor by being smart about what we're actually watching on stream. And then fucking the dam broke, the floodgates have opened, now everything's being streamed on Twitch by big streamers, partnered streamers. And that's a bad look for the platform. So if their hand is forced, I feel like the direction they'd go is they just ban watching YouTube altogether. Like, for instance, during one of those YouTuber boxing events, it got rehosted on Twitch, and that was kind of a nightmare for them. But they managed to get themselves out of that one, again, by saying, like, hey, we can't control everything here. And back then, the channels that were rehosting that material, which was illegal, those were small channels that were literally throwaway bot accounts, not your big partnered streamers. Now, if your big partnered streamers are doing this, now it's a lot more serious that Twitch has to be like, hey, we're going to probably need to do something or else we might face bigger consequences. Again, might not happen. I'm just saying it could. Either way, it's pretty obvious that this is a pretty bad idea overall and something that I wanted to talk about because it would affect me. I'm on Twitch every day. I stream every day. I do YouTube nights like once or twice a week. And they're a lot of fun. I like to watch a lot of weird and wacky content. And if something does come from this that impacts that, I'd be upset. So yeah, just wanted to bring all this up. That's about it. So yeah. Nina Lin has quickly become one of my least favorite streamers, which is an impressive accolade considering how few streams I watch these days. She really speedran this. Her and Jack Doherty occupy a very special place online of just being highly unlikable, annoying, insufferable assholes. And in Nina Lin's case, it's exceptionally frustrating considering she has broadcast herself sexually assaulting a man before, and then even treating it as a joke later on, even after like some fucking crocodile tears about how she understands that it was wrong or whatever, or why people might think it was bad. She herself has kind of made light of it since then. So, sexual assault superstar Nina Lin has continued to stream even after broadcasting that crime, and her content's only really elevated since then. She's broadcast more crimes, and today she's been banned for her third time in 6 weeks. You couldn't hit me in the head with a sledgehammer enough times to make me delusional enough to believe that Twitch is permanently banning her. My hunch is that this will be 3 days, or potentially up to a week. Tops. Absolute maximum I see this being is a week, and that's if all the stars align and Dan Clancy stops gooning for a minute to maybe try and like keep her stream down for a little bit to try and maybe put on a strong face of teaching her a lesson. But it won't be permanent. I think Twitch has made it very clear they don't actually take sexual assault that seriously when it's a woman doing it to a man. That is kind of the impression that a lot of people walk away from now, considering what Nina Lin has done. She is the sexual assault superstar and has now quickly become the face of degeneracy on Twitch, and they don't seem to mind. So, I want to show you a few clips since the sexual assault, which I already made a video going over, that are showcasing some of the lowlights that she proudly broadcasts on Twitch. We'll go ahead and start with the obvious. This is what people think is the reason behind her ban, where she stole items from Target on stream, and then when people in chat were speculating whether or not she actually stole them, she made sure to confirm that she indeed did steal those Target items, and in fact has stolen many more that you guys don't know about, which she openly just admits to and says, get fucked.
Oh no, he's wildin'. I'm telling you, bro, even if it was the stakes, bro, yo, bro, ain't nobody missing no fucking money, bitch. Calm the fuck down. No Target is not losing no type of fucking money from some stakes, bitch. Right? Ass fucking bum ass steaks. I don't give a shit. Matter of fact, put this on Twitter too. Your mom's a bitch, you's a bitch, and happy holidays, all you hoes is bitches.
A Shakespearean way with words. It is miserable listening to her struggle to throw together sentences because she is constantly in this persona where she's trying to portray a character that's like so tough and no nonsense, bitch that, fuck that, and that's all she ever says. So everything that leaves her mouth has to have that same like bravado to it. Oh my god, it's so cringe. She's so desperate to appear tough and uncaring, unfiltered. Yeah, she'll get a little crude, but that's Nina Lin's brand, baby. She tells it like it is. That's sexual assault superstar Nina Lin right there in all her glory.
Go ahead, put that on Twitter. I bet you won't. I bet you won't. Just put that on Twitter. I bet you won't. Yeah. No. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, bitch. I don't give a fuck. Happy holidays, whores. Yo, like, I don't give a shit. Oh, hold on. Oh, matter of fact, you want to make a news? I got these from Target too, guys. Look, I got these from Target too. Guess how much I paid? $3.99. Get mad, bitch.
Good one, Nina. A real slam dunk. Also, nothing says not giving a fuck quite like feeling the need to remind people of it constantly. The amount of times she has to reiterate she doesn't give a fuck kind of makes me think she does actually care. That just doesn't really seem like the behavior of someone that really doesn't. if she is just constantly having to say that.
So we called on Monday.
Oh, ma'am. Damn.
Oh, and the language that you're using in front of a 13-year-old, I don't appreciate either.
This is a public space. I'm gonna let you know that right now, man. This is a public space, you know, so.
Well, and we wait our turn like grown-ups.
No,
In a
100%.
public space.
And I'm just letting you know that, you know, sometimes you can also ask, hey, would you like to please use normal language in front of my daughter? That would have been great, too.
I think in a public space, we kind of have an understanding.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that wall is blocking your daughter, so I didn't see it.
Well, I appreciate you cleaning it up now.
Oh, of course. Like, it's only an issue, you know, not everything has to be public.
This is like...
It's like the most Karen argument. I cannot.
I don't know, I just don't really think it's a big Karen moment here, to be honest with you, Nina. She was pretty polite in asking you to just maybe pump the brakes on those sentence enhancers you like to toss around loosey-goosey, considering her daughter is right there and is a child. Also, you're in a fucking nail salon where people are supposed to be going to relax, and instead now you're in there filming and being just like a giant annoying pest. I think it's pretty reasonable to just ask you to maybe have a little bit of class there. But I don't know, maybe I'm on the crack pipe. This is Nina's world and we're all just props in it, obviously. You know what? I already see the error of my ways here. Who are we to question sexual assault superstar Nina Lynn on how she conducts herself and her behavior?
I appreciate the apology.
Great.
Oh shit.
1, 2.
Sir, do not be recording.
Oh, no, it's just me. It's just me. That's me. We got no one else on there. We can't do that either.
Yeah.
1, 2. We had to.
Yeah.
Right. We had to do that. Yeah. Right. Fuck. Bitch. Shit.
I don't know what's more pathetic in this clip, her or the guy she points to pretending to laugh really hard at this so that way he can get a crumb of attention from Nina Lynn. Both are really bad, but I think Nina Lynn's probably still more of a sad specimen. Very good one again, Nina. Her comedy stylings are top tier. Did you see the way she said fuck, bitch, and shit there? The joke, just to explain the joke, it's a bit of a thinking man's joke. That mother asked her to not do that around children, and even the employee here of the business asked her not to film them. And Nina Lynn pretends they weren't filming them, even though I saw the employees, I saw everyone that wasn't Nina Lynn too. She was filming everybody else as well, despite which she lied to them saying that it's just her. It's not. It wasn't. But don't worry, according to Nina Lynn, this business is actually her playground. It's a public space, according to Nina Lynn. She can do whatever the fuck she wants in here, baby.
Work around here, and like y'all are affecting my livelihood.
No, Dad,
You're
what's your
affecting? What is my issue?
Yo, what's your problem?
That y'all are coming
Dad,
in
what's your
here
problem?
and you're causing
And who are you?
so
And who are you?
many
And who are you? Do you own this
problems.
one? Do you own this one?
Do I now? No.
Oh man, you actually got to see it in real time there. The moths to the flame. These vermin. These fucking parasites. They smelt conflict and they came over with their fucking lights and selfie sticks because that's content, baby. So Nina Lynn, her heart is beating. She knows she's got a clip on her hands because now she's going to argue with this woman who is expressing her concern over them being disruptive. Apparently, background is she viewed their behavior like this big group of people as like a nuisance and being disruptive. So she confronted them directly about it. But I'm gonna be honest, sports fans, I don't think she knows the pickle she's about to find herself in. She has now just started an unskippable cutscene with the sexual assault superstar Nina Lynn, and it's about to get messy.
So what's your issue? No, what's your issue, Dad?
What's my issue?
Because you pressing me for no reason. You pressing me for no reason. What's your problem? Are you good, bro? Are you dead ass good?
Yeah. Hey, on fucking camera.
What's
that
up?
I'm surrounded
You're
by
weird as
20
fuck.
of you.
You're weird as fuck. You act like a victim? Is that what you want to do?
And
Watching Nina and her posse handle anything is just, it's worse than nails on a chalkboard. It is hard to sit still because it is just so unbelievably annoying. So now they're like surrounding this woman here and all talking at once, and Nina's like threatening, "Do you want the smoke?" Like, oh my god.
No, you're not. I'll tell you one thing. I smack the shit out of you, bitch. What happened? For real. Weird ass bitch. She's a weird ass. Hold on, bro. Go on. And I used to work too, bitch. So what's up? So what's up?
And if there's any justice in the world, Nina, those days will be upon us again, with you getting another job that's not streaming. Maybe I'm wrong and this is a permanent ban. That would be a joyous celebration. But anyway, you can see in the comfort of her huge group here, she feels very confident to threaten to smack the shit out of this woman, all because she dared say like she didn't appreciate this huge group filming and what they were doing there. And to Nina, those are fighting words. So she even breaks free like a dog off its leash in order to get right back up in her face angry. And then it continues for like another minute or so, with just Nina steaming, angry, upset, because this woman dared say like, hey, you being this loud and obnoxious is affecting me and like the business here, which I think is a pretty reasonable take based on everything I've seen here, especially with the way the group handles it, where they all come over, fucking cameras in face, lights in face, just constantly insulting her and everything, trying to make her like the joke to the stream for Nina's content. It's so fucking unbearably cringe. I really hope she stays banned. I just know that's not going to happen. Would love to be proven wrong though, Twitch. I guess we'll see. I'm sure if she's unbanned, she will continue to go back to committing crimes on streams. She loves to do that, it seems, and Twitch loves to turn the other cheek to it and pretend it's not happening. Anyway, I guess that's kind of all I wanted to talk about with this, so that's really about it. See ya. Yeah, it's only been a couple days since I talked about the NPC TikTok live streaming trend, and it is completely out of control now. It's spreading faster than the bubonic plague, and it's significantly worse for your health. It is tragic that this is the state of entertainment now. I don't blame any of the streamers hopping on this trend because it's an infinite money cheat code right now. This is a non-stop avalanche that's only gathering more and more steam, but instead of it being an avalanche with snow, it's an avalanche with doubloons. This is legitimately free money because people, for some reason, are just throwing all of their allowance, all the schmeckles from their pockets at every single TikTok streamer that's doing this NPC trend. I'm confident all of you have heard and seen this trend by now, but just in case, I'll introduce you to the patient zero that started this NPC streaming outbreak.
Grab, fire, meow, hee-haw, yes, you got me feeling like a cowgirl, let me write it, huh? Aw, thank you, Fruity, I love you. Balloon. That was good. Coconut. Hee-haw, yes, you got me feeling like a cowgirl. Grab.
This is Pinky Doll, and with the rate at which she's growing from this trend, she'll end up being more well-known than the Bible at this point. She has exploded from this. 50,000 viewers during her most recent NPC stream, and apparently, according to reports, eyewitness accounts, she went for 5 hours of doing that nonstop. Can never fault the work ethic there. That is some fucking iron will. That is a certified top 10 anime never give up moment right there. 5 hours of just repeating the same emotes forever, literally just spamming taunts in a fighting game for 5 hours like this. That's not easy. That's beyond mind rotting. But that's where the money's at right now. She has blasted a new market wide open here with weirdos that want to watch NPC streams forever. So it's really smart from her to capitalize off this, especially considering I imagine it won't last for too much longer. This is absolutely one of those lightning in a bottle situations. I would be shocked. And I've been wrong before. It's rare, but I have been wrong. Like the time I thought I got bit by a bat watching Jurassic World in theaters, and it turned out I had just fallen asleep and had a nightmare. Point is, I have been wrong. And I don't think I'm wrong here. I believe this trend will probably fizzle out and die like a sad little wet fart within about another week or two. Two at most. I just really don't envision a world where kids will continue to keep coming back to these because it's the same thing every single time. Though, I'm going to go ahead and argue with myself here. On the flip side of that coin, kids do just endlessly loop Finger Family videos and Elsa making out with Spider-Man shit and you know, Crazy Shark or whatever his name is. Left Shark, I think is what it is. Baby Shark. Christ. Like, they do subject themselves to the exact same things on repeat forever, so maybe this will have legs for quite some time. I'm not really sure, but regardless, it's smart from Pinky Doll to keep striking while the iron is hot, because she is making a fat stack of cash from all of this here. And again, she's not alone. This has become the biggest trend right now. Either people hopping on ironically and then still doing it for like hours and then doing it multiple streams, or just people fully shamelessly copying and doing exactly what she does. If you go on TikTok and just scroll through live streams, pretty much all of them are this. There's been a bunch of videos posted of it, so I'll just show you clips from a couple of them that keep floating around and people that just scroll through TikTok lives, and it's literally every single one of them doing NPC streams.
Guys, thank you all for the likes. I appreciate it. The roses. 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 Roses.
The clip goes on for a lot longer, but I want to quickly interrupt before getting back to it. That roses to roses true combo there was actually fucking wild. That wasn't planned or anything from the person who posted this, I don't think, because they were just scrolling, I believe. So that just happened naturally. That's how formulaic the NPC streams are. They're pretty much the same thing, just repeated forever. And they all generate a lot of attention from the audience, like thousands upon thousands of viewers for pretty much every creator that's hopping on board, as well as a ton of money, because again, the trend is NPCs acting out their emojis that people are donating. So they're getting donated roses, so it's smelling the roses. Roses! 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 Oh, roses! 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 Like across the board forever. It's always the exact same shit for everyone doing it, and it's highly successful for them. And the audiences, for some reason, find it very entertaining and satisfying, which is concerning. It's the perfect illustration of just how bad for the human attention span TikTok is. Like, this is some fucking embarrassing shit for the future generations here. Because this content, the NPC streams, is basically just resetting the human brain to default factory settings. It's making you devolve to baby brain. Watching this is like watching parents play peekaboo with their baby. Peekaboo? Peekaboo? And then the audience is like, every time. Every single time, even though it doesn't change. It's fucking wild.
Hello, I'm AI.
Rebooting. System rebooting. Thank you for your...
GG. Thank you for the share.
Live.
Queen Slane. Hi, Zaza.
A couple of those were scrolled to a little too quickly to really recognize that they were NPC streams, but they were. Like, if you slow it down, like one of them that went by really quick, they did have the hair iron out with the kernel in it, popping individual popcorn, just like Pinky Doll does in the NPC streams. Everyone on TikTok is trying to get in on this infinite money glitch. And the content itself is legitimately just perpetual stimulation, jingling keys, making as much noise as possible, as often as possible. And it's working. You can see how effective it is, which is so fucking sad. Again, not for the people doing it here, because it's a free bag, and basically they just have to be the little clown honking their nose in order to make the children laugh by saying the same shit every single time for emojis that come through in the donations. I don't really get it. I'm not a fucking psychologist here, but if I was to spitball a guess, maybe this is like an audience of people that didn't get a lot of attention growing up, like their parents didn't play peekaboo with them, or Here Comes the Airplane with their vegetables, and seeing someone do something similar is kind of filling that missing piece in their soul, and that's why they keep coming back every single NPC stream and watching and donating to all of them. That would be my guess, but again, I can't really sit here and psychoanalyze every single spectator of this new sport and try and understand the inner machinations of their complex noodles out there. It's a little beyond my pay grade. I don't fully understand it, but I respect the people that are on the grind making a ton of money off of a wacky trend like this. I've also heard a lot of other people refer to this as an NPC fetish, which again could be true, maybe, I suppose. That there's maybe some merit to that claim, but I'm also not a fetish scientist, so I'm pretty in the dark on that one too. But regardless, one thing that's inarguable, it's extremely successful, and it's not showing any signs of slowing down. In fact, it's only growing in popularity. But again, I do think that its days are numbered. I don't think it's going to last that much longer, so anyone that's on the NPC trend, you gotta stick this shit out for as long as possible. Fucking grip it as hard as you can in order to just continue to squeeze it for a little extra juice. Also, I mentioned that it's not easy to do this because it's not. Like, it's super simple, but it's not easy. It's many hours of just repeating yourself forever. But what I am surprised I haven't seen more of, and maybe it's just because I don't watch the NPC streams, I only see what gets posted online for the frequency of it. What I'm surprised that more people aren't doing is just recording maybe like 15 minutes of you going through all of these emotes like, thank you, fire, fire, gang gang, gang gang, gang gang, all of that. Do that for maybe 10 minutes. And then just loop the video on a TikTok live stream. TikTok live streams are filled with fucking scams already. It's a fucking cesspool of scams. And one of the scams that people do is fake live streams where they just loop a video like that. I'm surprised people haven't been doing that for this trend, especially considering how easy it would be to do that. Like, I don't think anyone's going to be sitting there and recognizing like, oh, they didn't react to the roses. Oh my god, they didn't react to the dumbbell. Wait a minute, this is fake. And even if they did, what are they going to do about it? TikTok doesn't shut that shit down. They haven't shut down any of the scam streams, so I'm just surprised that that hasn't become more prevalent with this trend, but maybe it's just because I haven't been paying that much attention to the actual streams. Maybe this is super common and most people are faking it. That's very possible, I'm not sure. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because it is completely fucking out of control with how big this has become. That's about it. See ya. Hey asshole, I've got 2 important questions for you. How far would you go for a sponsorship? And how far would you go for YouTube views? Would you crash a plane? Would you commit a felony? Huh? If your answer to that question is no, then you're a pussy and a coward. Take it from my man Trevor, who recently possibly crashed his plane on purpose for the sake of a viral YouTube video, which was also a sponsorship deal. It's a pretty wild story and one that I've been following actively since the day it was posted, which was about 13 days ago now. So just to break it down, I'll go ahead and play some footage quickly. An extreme YouTuber named Trevor, who's known for doing extreme shit like piloting, parachuting, skateboarding. I swear to God, this dude will finger blast your girlfriend while hitting a kickflip. He recently posted a video called I Crashed My Plane, and in the video he takes his friend's ashes and says he's going to spread them over his favorite mountains, but while on the flight, something goes awry. The engine stalls and he immediately abandons ship and just bails out of the plane. It honestly looks like in a video game when you press the wrong button when piloting, you just like accidentally jump out. And then he makes sure to get his GoPro and selfie stick ready so he gets some awesome footage of him skydiving basically from the plane that is inevitably going to crash. And while watching this, it seems like a scene right out of the Power Rangers movie from the early 2000s with Ivan Ooze, where the Rangers skydive, but they're hitting like all these gnarly tricks on a surfboard. That's the exact same vibe I got from this part. And then he parachutes, he lands, and then he hikes up to the crashed plane to observe the wreckage. And you can see it's completely totaled, it crashed into the side of the mountain, and then he's just kind of talking about it and then hikes back to civilization. Now, I watched this on stream last night. That's twitch.tv/moistcritical. I stream every day. Come stop by. It's the only stream guaranteed to get you laid. I'll put a link in the description. And while watching it with chat, we were just kind of going over everything, and then I watched a video that kind of talks about all of the things that are wrong with it. I'm no pilot. I'm really fucking dumb when it comes to aircrafts and everything, but there's a lot wrong with the video that the actual pilots have pointed out, and a couple of them that I'd like to just mention right away is almost no pilot flies with a parachute. That is very alarming for most pilots to see, apparently. And even he himself never flies with a parachute. In all of his other videos, he's never wearing one while piloting. He also doesn't really try to do anything to solve the problem. When it stalls, it also stalls at a very convenient cruising altitude. And instead of trying to actually fix the problem, he just immediately bails out. And as another YouTuber pointed out, it's very suspicious that while something has gone wrong with the engine, we never see inside of the cockpit. All the cameras, like there's 12 cameras on this fucking thing. It's like a goddamn complete 360 video basically of all the camera coverage, but not a single time while the engine is apparently malfunctioning do we see anything in the cockpit. We only get the outside exterior shots of him about to jump out. So that was another very suspicious thing. A couple other pilots pointed out weird things that they noticed in the cockpit itself before everything goes wrong, and just so many things that make this video very suspicious. Seeing the YouTuber who crashed the plane for views? Yeah! I actually saw that the day he posted it. Someone sent me it in an email. Yeah, his name's Trevor Jacobs, the guy who crashed this plane. He still got it up, too. Oh, he turned off comments. You coward. Oh, you blew it, Trevor. You blew it. Yeah, so this dude... I mean, I'll let it play. Thanks for some bees. So to break it down, well, let me just let it play and then we can go over it. I watched this the day it was posted though. I was on the forefront of this drama. Why though? There's a couple theories. Most people think he did it just for the sponsorship since it's a Ridge Wallet sponsorship. So he wanted it to have good views so that way he'd get other sponsorships from them. Like, oh, look at how well this video performed for us. That's like the leading theory. But then the other theories is just wanting the attention. That insatiable appetite for some updates.
What's happening? How's it going? My name's Trevor Jacob. Super grateful he'll be joining us.
Says in the video the engine fails. Okay, so I can already see people coming in here like, no, Charlie, this is completely legitimate. So let's go over a couple of things, and I'll play the corresponding clips. So it's around right here, where the engine stalls. Everything's gone wrong. Catastrophes happened. Every pilot's worst nightmare, next to like getting hit by an anti-air missile. And his first instinct is to jump out of the plane. He doesn't try and fix anything. He literally just leaps immediately. Which is quite literally, from what I understand, the last thing anyone should ever do as a pilot. There's a whole checklist of things they do before even considering this. And also, no pilots fly with a parachute normally. And neither does this guy. He only flew with a parachute in this video and this video alone. All the other videos with him piloting a plane, he is not wearing a parachute. I love the way he exits the plane, though. And luckily it stalled at a nice cruising altitude. Dropping tilted towers. Yeah. Another thing a lot of people pointed out is while he's falling, you can see a ton of places that he could have potentially landed this plane. I'm not a pilot, so the reason I never even bothered talking about it is because I don't know fuck all about it. There were people a lot smarter than me that really dissected this and pointed out all of the bullshit. And this is a felony, crashing a plane on purpose. This is a really big deal. So obviously it generated a lot of waves in the actual community of pilots. So again, he never wore a parachute when piloting any of the other planes that he has flown in, yet he claims that he always wears one, which is just a blatant lie.
That's why I always freaking fly with a parachute.
No, which he doesn't. Service. Yep. So this was obviously a big deal. I saw it when it happened. But there are so many things wrong with this. There's almost no realm where this is legitimate. Unless, of course, he quite honestly is the worst pilot to ever live, I suppose.
So Trevor's airplane that you normally see him flying in,
with no parachute,
red and white experimental airplane with the tail number, you can tell like it's very obvious that it's a different plane.
The guy jumped out of his airplane like he reached the map limit.
You can clearly see the registration. We've got Santa Barbara and Santa Ynez.
Man, he's so lucky it didn't just miss the mountains and crash into a town. Like, holy fuck.
And then it does seem like the numbers have been painted over or obscured in some way, though, because you can never get a clear.
Why would that help his case, though?
See what the numbers actually say.
If you can't see the numbers, why is that helpful to him? Because they can't track the flight.
Where's your paraglider?
But how does that help them if they can't track the flight? Can't they just watch this and pretty much plot the flight like this YouTuber did? I don't see how it's not. I don't see that how it helps them though. For no room for speculate. Okay. I mean, I guess, yeah. I suppose. It just feels stupid, because if he's going to film this whole thing, he should obviously know that they can find his course. He shows him leaving the airport, and, like, that's probably... If 4chan can find Shia LaBeouf's flag in the middle of fucking nowhere by airplane routes and constellations, I'm sure the FAA could probably figure out where this dumb asshole was going, and what mountains he crashed into, considering there was only 2 possible locations nearby.
So if we take a look at the
oh my god,
flight,
what am I looking at?
Have right here,
fuck?
He said that his destination.
Oh my god, Jesus, fuck.
Up here. So this is where he started. This is there.
We're in the mainframe.
I felt like I needed to say something. A lot of other people have questions too.
That's another thing I noticed. The actual pilot community is for some reason like the most respectful and nicest community of all time that I've ever seen on the internet. Like in the comments before he disabled them, all the pilots that knew this was bullshit, they were like, Well, there's a lot of inconsistencies with what I'm seeing here. I'd like to trust you, and I think against my better judgment I will, but here's everything that's clearly wrong about everything here. And even this guy's video, which is basically an exposed video, amounts to him just saying, like, yeah, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. It's probably just, about a lot of weird things happening. Yeah, plain people just seem super nice. And this exposed video is so big brain, I couldn't even understand half of the things he used to debunk the bullshit. For me, I knew it was garbage when someone sent it to me, and the first thing the dude did was just bail out of the plane like it was fucking GTA. He tried no troubleshooting at all from a cruising altitude where he had plenty of time to at least try and, like, restart the engine or like, glide it to a landing nearby or anything. He's just like, yep, I'm fucking out. Peace. And then he has also one of the worst actors I've seen in a minute when he's, like, hiking through the place. He's like, oh my gosh. The freaking universe just saved me. The freaking universe is so good. This is why I always freaking parachute. I wonder if he's actually going to say anything about this at any point. I would imagine probably not. But he's kept the video up. So I wonder what's going to come from it. Again, it's a serious crime. Like a very serious crime. Low-key terrorist attack. I mean, it is, not super wrong. He just bails out of a plane and lets it crash. It could have crashed anywhere. He had no control over where that thing was going to crash, nor who was in the area nearby. And as we just saw in the last video, there's like a whole town that's not far from these mountains. And by not far, I mean they're literally right next to these mountains. Now, I didn't mention this on stream, but it's something I thought of right after ending stream. If this video didn't have the plane crash, then what was the purpose of the video? It's basically just a video of a guy flying his plane and then landing it. I guess the draw of the video could have been spreading his friend's ashes, but that's a very personal thing and not exactly like a viral piece of content. And Trevor's channel is full of nothing but extreme moments, like all of his piloting ones have like scary stories or taking people up that are very afraid, and it's all very like exciting stuff. Whereas if this video didn't have the plane crash, it's literally just him flying and then landing. And this has a sponsor on it. Sponsors typically want to be on a piece of content they're confident would perform well. A video where Trevor just flies and lands isn't exactly going to be something that really fucking pops off in the algorithm or anything like that. But a plane crash, well, that has the potential to really get wacky, and especially for a sponsorship, it'd be something they'd be confident in doing well. And I'm sure Trevor would have come up with a plan to make the content more exciting, considering all of his other content is, like, over the top. Whereas this one would have just been flying and landing. So it just seems really out of character, and there could be merit to that argument where, because it was a sponsorship, Trevor felt like he needed to do something bigger, so he came up with this plan of crashing the plane. Again, all of this could be completely genuine. Maybe all of this is real, the plane really malfunctioned, there was no saving it, so he bailed out. But with everything pointed out by the actual pilots in the community, as well as everything they were able to uncover, it seems unlikely. It seems more like this was a stunt to generate views and interest in his channel and content, which is pretty fucked up if that is the case. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this. That's about it. So yeah. There's some memories that last a lifetime. Your first kiss, your first time driving, first time flying, first time getting an A on a test or hearing your parents say they're proud of you, and the first time you experienced the heartbreak of when your favorite video game gets unjustly shut down. If you close your eyes and listen closely, you can hear spirits breaking from tens of thousands of Echo VR players from across the world. Unfortunately, it was revealed a couple days ago that the most popular VR esport, Echo VR, is being shut down by Meta's new CTO, Andrew Bosworth, aka Boz. Big Boz recently took over and is making some pretty big changes and has cemented himself as the supervillain in the VR space. He, for some reason, decided to pull the plug on Echo VR, which is not a dead game by any means. It's a community of tens of thousands of players that still have a massively thriving esports scene. But unfortunately, just like Judge Dredd, Andrew Bosworth was blessed with the ability to axe anything. He's judge, jury, and executioner. So Echo VR was no longer allowed to fly under the new Boz laws. His reasoning is that the community is too tiny. saying that it had fallen into the low 10,000s, which if any of you play games know that that's not really a dead game status for what is essentially a 3-year-old game that doesn't see a ton of updates in the first place. Like, that's pretty fucking good. But not to Bosworth. He only deals in the millions and billions. He doesn't get out of bed unless there's a threesome waiting for him when he stands up, you know? Like, this is the kind of guy that only deals with the biggest numbers, I guess. So he said, unfortunately, since these pests are just so tiny and insignificant, I have to crush them. Keeping things alive takes work, Bosworth said. This is not like a return on investment money standpoint, it's just those resources could be put to other uses that I think will be useful to the now tens of millions of people who are in VR. He also says that Meta has some regulatory constraints that make it more expensive to maintain the game. So this is a bunch of baloney. This is horseradish. There's a bunch of fish paste here. That is a sizable community. That is a pretty strong user base for a game that's 3 years old and does not get active updates. You don't have a team that's on this that's dedicated to working on it around the clock. I just don't believe that's the case. I really don't. I don't think there's a ton of resources that are spent on the game as is, and I don't think taking those resources is going to somehow curb Meta's hundreds of billions of dollars that they're losing already. I'll never understand decisions like this from companies that could clearly afford to just keep this running and maintain the goodwill of tens of thousands of players. Because you cut these people off, they're not coming back. Where are they going to go? They're going to go to Horizon? No one goes to Horizon. That place is more empty than a dilapidated fucking insane asylum from the 1930s. No one goes to Horizon. The only people on Horizon are people that are trying to exchange drugs for Bitcoin. Or just like really shady fucking weirdos RPing. So these players are not going to Horizon, and it's not like you have a ton of other products to offer them. They're just not coming back. They were there mostly for Echo VR, I imagine. And now you've made them hate you. So you've lost them. I feel like the goodwill of them is more lucrative long-term than the 4 or 5 developers that you may have been able to take off of Echo VR and put on your ad space, your mobile game ad functionality, or whatever the fuck you're going to use them for. It's a stupid decision. And they go very hard here. They are absolutely making sure the shit stays buried and dead. Like, they are putting it in the casket and sending it straight to the goddamn core of the earth. They're sending it right to fucking hell. Echo VR will never see the light of day if it goes Boz's way. The Boz went on to put his dick in his mouth one more time. He said, I will add one more thing on this. I know people are really focused on it understandably, which is that we looked at if we can open source it, and the answer is basically no. It's very deeply entangled with a bunch of our systems, and there's no. It'd be even less cost effective to do that. Can we spin it out or sell it? No, because we want the Ready at Dawn team to be continued to be focused on these other projects that we're excited about that I think are going to have a bigger impact on a bigger number of people on driving more adoption. I don't know if he realizes how big of an asshole he sounds like every time he opens his mouth. Everything that comes out is all about numbers. You guys are small, so you guys suck, which is why we're abandoning you out in the cold. Fuck you. Find your own way home. Like, it's fucking silly. If the game was truly dead, like it was a really small community, then I'd understand it. Like, that makes sense, most people would understand it, but the game's doing, like, really well. They have, like, 3 other LAN events this year that have, like, $200,000 in prizing. Like, it's not a dead game. It's really not. They could have, like, just, you know, if they want to focus on other big projects for the Ready at Dawn team, you could just keep the game as is and then have them still work on the other shit. The game is not seeing a ton of updates, and it hasn't in, like, 3 years. So if you just kept it the same, just keep it running, just keep the fucking lights on, like that's the bare minimum, people would probably still be fine with that. And then they could focus on whatever other bigger projects you think are going to entice a bigger number of players to come to the fucking metaverse and, you know, the Oculus, whatever. I just don't see why you couldn't have your cake and eat it too here. It just seemed like a really simple move. He even admits openly that the previous CTO, John Carmack, wouldn't have shut down the game. And do you know why? Because he's a guy who fucking gets it. He's not perfect, no one is, but he at least understands basic shit like this. Whereas Boz doesn't, because you know what Boz is? He's an ad guy. Before he was the CTO of this shit, he was just an ad guy. All he did was fucking ads. There's a great video that's made by a channel called Thrill Seeker that I'd like to show you some clips of. He covers this whole thing in depth, so I highly recommend it. I'll put a link to the description. I'll put a link to the video in the description. But I just want to show you a little bit more here about the situation because it's kind of interesting. Oh, did Thrill Seeker make a whole video on the Echo VR thing? Yeah, I know the situation. Meta shut them down.
Why is this happening? Why kill a game with tens of thousands of active users? And is this really how Meta is going to operate?
Because that's just Facebook in a nutshell, baby. That's just Meta in a nutshell, baby. fuck everyone, fuck everything. We're just gonna lose money and you can't stop us.
Pretty easy to see exactly why. Swapping chief technology officers of a future technology company, even if Carmack wasn't full-time, is almost like a company brain transplant. On one hand, Carmack comes from a pretty...
Which is one of the big problems that Halo Infinite faced, because they kept losing some upper-level, like, senior project leads. So every time they got replaced, the whole vision started to change, and everything kept getting muddier and muddier and muddier, and then you get the absolute fucking mess that Halo Infinite became. That's why making those kind of massive swaps in the middle of projects is always a fucking disaster.
Bosworth, on the other hand, is cut from totally different cloth. He's been at Facebook since 2006, and he made his claim to fame within the company, making Facebook money as the vice president of ads. That's right.
Hey, what a great fit for gaming. That sounds amazing. Let's take the vice president of ads and put him on the gaming space. That's just a seamless fit. Fuck yeah. That's the boss, baby. Why the hell would he be put on the gaming space? What do you mean? Gaming is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Taking a guy who's all about just making money off like ads and shit, trying to monetize the gaming space, 100%. That's why they put him there. Plus, Meta lost like fucking, Jesus, what was it, like hundreds of billions of dollars or something in valuation over the last year? They're desperate. So they're gonna sick the boss on the metaverse, on the gaming space.
We had a gaming legend, and now we have the legend of advertisements in charge of VR. And as
but look how cool he is.
And sick as that is.
So what happened here? It just dwindled. You know, the user base is small. It's loyal as all get out, but it's small. It's measured in, you know, the low 10,000s. Those resources could be put to other uses that I think will be useful to the now tens of millions of people who are in VR, and at some point you have to make those choices.
So,
the tens of millions of people in VR, I can assure you, are not in the metaverse. Brother, that place is barren and empty. That place is like every 16-year-old outcast's birthday party. There is nobody in there. So yeah, there is a lot of VR users these days, and I'll tell you where they're not. The fucking metaverse. They're on like Gorilla Tag and shit like that. Yeah, I know, him calling 10K small obviously just shows how delusional he is when it comes to like player-based numbers, because this is an ad space guy. 10,000 people is nothing to him. When he's working with like Facebook mobile ads and shit, that is barely a blip on the radar. That is a completely meaningless number to him. So he can't really separate that number in the ad space to the gaming space. Because the 10K, and I think it was, I imagine it was more than 10K, but even just a 10K user base on a multiplayer VR game is pretty fucking good. That's a strong community.
But I do need to think about return on investment. And I'm not talking about money back to Meta. I'm not talking about trying to make money.
That's good, because Meta doesn't make money. And you know who's not going to solve that problem? Goofball Boz. So I'm glad that's not on the priority list, because that shit is not happening.
Talking about the return on the human capital, the people that could be doing something that's going to affect millions of people, but instead they're trying to keep something alive that affects 10,000s of people. I love how deeply it affected those people, but I just got to make those calls. It's part of my job.
His job is legitimately to be hated. This guy has done nothing that people appreciate except for soulless corporate suits. This guy is a fucking chronic loser. He is an ad space guru. He pumps ads to kids on Facebook and now shuts down games that people like. This guy's entire position is to just be disliked. To be an unlikable heel. What a fate. What a fucking fate. Corpo slime. I mean, pretty fucking much, man.
But beyond cosmetic paid DLC, the game hasn't really been updated at all since it came to the Quest 3 years ago. And half the game,
I didn't know it was that old.
The better half of the game, Echo Combat, just never came to the Quest at all. It's stuck on PC for no reason. And at this point, it's honestly impressive that Echo still has a community as large as it does at all. But
Wait, so is Echo, did they still have a component elsewhere off of the Boz domain? Oh, because they haven't taken it down yet. Oh, okay. I'm talking about when they take it down. Are they affecting the one that is outside of the Quest? Like, are they taking the one that is on PC? Does the whole thing come down? Like, the PC one comes down too? Yeah, because they're shutting off all the servers. Got it. Okay.
Some people really don't care, and they'll just bend over and take it from any corporation that'll give it to them. But really, why do I even care? It's just a game.
I will say, though, as far as corporations go, I think Meta has the least amount of meat swallowers in the world. Everyone from every walk of Earth hates Facebook, and Facebook is a company. Like, no matter where you are in the world or with your beliefs, everyone equally fucking hates it. I don't see many people ever defending it. I see some metaverse brainwashed people, but those are very small in number. Echo VR has need everyone's help to save Echo VR. It has 3 to 4 yearly LAN events and multiple esports leagues. Has a dedicated user base, putting money into making it the biggest VR esport. Yeah, so when this story broke, I kept seeing it touted as like the biggest VR esport. I don't really keep up with the VR scene much, so I wasn't very familiar, but I still think that's pretty cool. Hope someone sets up their own servers for this. Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, that's going to be unlikely, especially with a company like Meta, and especially with a soulless weirdo like Boz. If someone tried to set up like their own private server, like if they tried to do what City of Heroes did, for example, I feel like Meta is the company that would 100% come after them legally. So I think there's a 0% chance of that happening. So once it goes down, it'll stay down. There's definitely still a fighting chance to save Echo. So does Thrillseeker do a call to action here? Because I don't really know how you save it beyond making a big stink online. And normally I'd say that does have a chance, but with Meta, I just don't think they give a fuck. I really don't.
Someone out there has created a functional mod loader for Echo VR called the Vega Mod Loader. This has been used specifically in the past for professional Echo tournaments, mainly to change the server to play in a LAN environment. And
those are kind of crazy setup
some
here.
Other adjustments with the Vega patch. The community is going to eventually reverse engineer the servers, whether that takes months or years to do, which it could take years. They're going to do it. So if they're
they absolutely can do it. Like they absolutely could do that, and what would happen is Meta would sue them. It'd be a cease and desist if they keep going. That is exactly what happened initially with City of Heroes, and they ended up running private servers in secrecy for like 8 years, which was in a very big legal gray area. What are you doing, Io? Why are you trying to eat the trash can? I really do hope that they don't do that, because there's absolutely no harm in having the private servers. It doesn't hurt Meta's bottom line. Or what are you doing? What is going on over there? It does nothing to Meta's bottom line. It does nothing to their company. It is completely a victimless thing to just have private servers of Echo VR persist. But these companies are fucking cutthroat, and I feel like Meta is definitely going to be one of the worst ones for it.
And I gotta say, I am so excited to go work on some hardware videos now that aren't so loaded. But I also hope that you guys got to see a little bit behind what's going on at Meta right now.
Hey, I got more reasons to hate Meta.
They're just a company making VR stuff,
love that.
And they're doing a lot for the industry. Let me know what you thought below. Much love. Thrill out.
That was good. That was an extremely informative look at exactly what was going on. I had a baseline understanding of what was happening, but this was a lot deeper into it. So now I have an antagonist.
To play with, thermal space to play.
Boz. I don't understand what's going on in the world right now, because there is a cheating scandal in every single sport, every game, every hobby in the entire world, all happening at once. This is like something out of the Bible to signal a doomsday or an apocalypse. Today we're going to be talking about a Call of Duty cheating scandal, but not so much the cheating itself, more so how one YouTuber took a huge L trying to suckle a drop of clout out of the situation by posting an embarrassing video about it. I'm not a huge fan of Call of Duty. I haven't been a fan of Call of Duty in a while, but I am a big fan of clowns. And yesterday these two worlds collided when Doug Censor Martin made his exposed video on Nadia, a person who's been accused of cheating for a while now. Doug kind of hyped himself up as the authority to bring down judgment once and for all and bring the truth to light. He dusted off the monocle and got to the bottom of this case like Scooby-Doo and the gang to solve the mystery here. But unfortunately, he posted turbo cringe on main, and as a result, the entire community's been dunking on him and he's caught more shit than a latrine. It would have been less reputationally damaging if he posted his own sex tape on his channel. Would have been a lot less embarrassing. Now let me just go ahead and break down the situation here to bring you all up to speed, since I'm sure a lot of you don't know exactly what I'm talking about. Right now, there is a massive Call of Duty streamer named Nadia. She mainly plays Warzone, Rebirth Island, and she's massive. And she's had a ton of cheating allegations against her for quite a long time now. A lot of people analyzing and going over very suspicious and odd moments from her streams, as well as some peculiar things that have popped up in terms of like aim locking and tracking and shit like that. As well as recently she went to a LAN tournament and didn't perform super well. She went like 4-15 in one of the bigger matches. So people were confused on why she plays so well at home, where she's dropping like 50 bombs and absolutely spanking people, versus on LAN where she goes and just doesn't do super well. So there's just been a lot of videos breaking down and analyzing suspicious moments from her streams and explaining that there's a chance she's cheating, though nothing's 100% proven as of right now. But it is a very peculiar situation, one that I'm not super familiar with, so one that I'm not going to opine on heavily, but that's the gist of it in a nutshell. And Doug Censor Martin stepped into the spotlight to try and be the authority on whether or not she truly is cheating. And this backfired on him terribly. So yeah, I'm not really here to talk too much about the possible cheating itself. I'm just here to laugh at this awful video Doug made. Even if it's confirmed Nadia's cheating, like right now, if she goes live and just admits, I'm a cheater, here's the proof, I would still say Doug Censor Martin took the bigger L in this situation. Also, he really hyped the shit out of this for days, like on Twitter and everything, making very bold posts about the impact this video is going to have and how he was taking it so seriously and researching it thoroughly. And man, that aged terribly. Right away, you can tell the vibe he's going for is douchey, over-the-top goofiness here, but it conflicts with the tone he set prior to its release, talking about how seriously he was taking it in the investigation that he was conducting, only to release this little circus video. So immediately people were pretty turned off just from the intro alone.
Detective, what are you smoking?
The Nadia pack.
Wait, isn't that your $1 million Armani suit?
Just buy another one.
Behold, the comedic stylings of Doug. I bet you have to pick yourself up off the floor after laughing so hard and falling out of your chair, but that's a side-splitting humor you can expect to find from Doug here. No doubt this man's going places. He's probably going to start writing jokes for Amy Schumer next. I mean, this is just good stuff. This bit drags on for a very long time here, and I have no doubt that it's this long just for the sake of padding the video length, because the video is 8 minutes and 3 seconds, so I feel like he just front-loaded it with this trash in the intro to make sure that it breaches 8 minutes for the mid-roll ads, because I have no other explanation for why it goes on for as long as it does. I'll spare you the next like 45 seconds of this shit and just get to the part where he starts talking, but I do want to at least mention that last night I was talking about this on stream and Doug was watching and he took it like a champ, so good on you, Doug, for being able to roll with criticism, but this is a video that should have just stayed as a bad idea in your head. You should have never posted it.
98! Ugh! Ugh!
Yo, what's going on, guys? Doug Censor Martin here. Hope you guys are having a great day.
This is really a masterclass in how to make people dislike you within the first minute of a video. He just speedran unlikability. I really love the thought process behind this video here. I'll just crank out some pull-ups before getting into it. That'll make them think I'm cool. Flex on them a little bit. Hey, what's up, nerds? It's me, Doug. What, did I forget to give you a wedgie today? No, I'm just kidding. I'm the likable douchebag who plays video games. You know, What a Sigma male.
And today I bring you guys a brand new video giving you all the truth about Nadia. So if you guys don't know who Nadia is, she's a 22-year-old Warzone player. She streams every single day on Twitch TV. So I've been putting in about 8 to 10 hour days, 7 days a week to Vanguard rank to be the #1 ranked player on the planet. And with that comes the sacrifice. And sometimes, like I said, you lose your mind. Sometimes you play against cheaters and they really are inevitable. There's not really too much you can do about it.
The first minute and a half is just actual nothing burgers. This man is a restaurant that's serving up buns and nothing inside of it. It is absolute worthlessness. It's him patting his ego for a bit, I guess giving like a background on himself. He's like, oh, you know, at first I looked at Nadia, I wasn't suspicious, but then everyone else was, so now I'm suspicious. And here's my resume. And then he talks about how he spends so much time grinding Call of Duty Vanguard ranked, which sounds like a fate worse than death. And then he finally starts getting into something that's even remotely related to the topic.
This girl really got people hooked. So I'm clicking the video and I'm watching it, and they're slowing everything down in slow motion. They're showing our aim drags from one person to another. They're showing a bunch of these different clips of these characters moving like magnets and their aim snaps on them. And just being a guy who's been around competitive Call of Duty for as long as I have and seeing as many things that I've seen, this is no news to me. I've seen stuff like this so many times before. And my brain just started to think, and I'm like, let me look a little bit more into Nadia.
We are 4 minutes and 33 seconds into this video and he has still done absolutely fucking nothing. Silence would have been more productive than everything he's said so far. If he had spread his own asshole like Goatsy for 4 minutes and 33 seconds, I feel like I would have got more information out of that than what I've watched so far. We are over halfway done with the video and he has done and said nothing.
I thought acting was my passion, but now it's really gaming. I do love acting, but gaming is where I'm at right now.
So when she said this live, I was actually in my hot tub watching because I'm friends with Jake and I like him. Let me watch this interview. Let me see who this girl is and what she's all about. And when I saw that and I heard that, everything really started to click to me.
This is his first of only 3 loose points. I can't even call them actual points because he doesn't even make any arguments against Nadia or to prove she's cheating, because this, what he's showing, everything he shows here isn't evidence. He just pulls up random TikTok clips of her talking about acting. He doesn't even go into like the actual cheating allegations. He just talks about her being bad at acting for some reason. Like that's what he like focuses on. That's the smoking gun. Ah, so she's bad at acting. Probably a cheater as well then. I was super let down by this video, as I'm sure everyone else was, because he had put so much hype behind it, talking about how thorough and how serious this video was going to be. And I'm a little goblin that's drawn to internet drama like a moth to a flame, so I was finally going to get caught up to speed on some fresh drama that I wasn't super familiar with, and I thought Doug would be the one to deliver all of the information as well as pretty impressive evidence on a video. But he didn't do any of that. Instead, he released this stinker and then has claimed it was all just an elaborate troll, which to me just sounds like desperation and cope. Like, no, this video actually was a troll from the start. But even if that is the case, it's still poorly done. It's still bad. The video itself isn't entertaining, even as like a satirical piece or a joke. It's just not good no matter how you spin it.
It's simple. I just hack into the Call of Duty servers, so there's a playlist that gets me only low KD lobbies. Rebirth QA bot, turn me up, chat.
Turn me up, turn me up. Oh my God, turn me up. You clearly tell this is some bad acting, and not for nothing. This whole turn me up, turn me up. Can we please, I don't care who started this. I don't care. Can we leave this in 2022? Just somebody come up with something new and creative, anything. But the whole turn me up, yeah.
This buffoon's over here mauling over 3 words. It's not that deep. It's not a big deal. And also, what does it have to do with anything about the cheating accusations you're supposed to be tackling? So Nadia really leans into all the cheating stuff and treats it like a meme and a joke. So she'll be very sarcastic with it, talk about how she's like cheating sarcastically and shit like that. And Doug is critiquing her acting about it and being upset that she says, turn me up. I just don't even get what he's trying to say here. Maybe it's too galaxy brain for me to comprehend. I just can't wrap my little reptile brain around it. It just seems like he finds her annoying, so he's just calling her annoying like a child would.
You could go down a rabbit hole just searching this girl's name, but there's one thing that really stands out.
I played Black Ops 1. Black Ops 2.
Hey, you don't need to hug me. I get
So
it.
dolphin.
Chat, what is dolphin diving? Like, how do I do it?
Okay, so Nadia, check this out. I know you work out and you're in good shape. This is how you do the dolphin dive. All jokes aside, this video is about showing the truth of Nadia.
All jokes aside, what jokes? All 0 of them that you've told so far? This is so embarrassing, Doug. The fact that you not only made this, but you edited it and posted it shamelessly and hyped it up, you could have at least made a point out of this, like, Nadia claims she's very familiar with Call of Duty and Black Ops in particular. How would she be unfamiliar with the term dolphin diving? That was a very standard term used in Black Ops by everyone. It'd be very surprising if she'd never heard of dolphin diving despite playing so much Black Ops. But you didn't even begin to, like, broach that subject. Instead, you took this and made an absolute nothing sandwich out of it again. Like, I just don't understand the motivation behind this video, like what the purpose was, other than to just siphon a few views out of the topic. Because everyone is talking about this Nadia cheating allegation situation, and perhaps Doug felt a little left outside, alone, cold in the rain, and he said, hey guys, I want to come inside where it's warm and get in on this view party as well. So then he threw this piece of shit together.
All jokes aside, this video is about showing the truth of Nadia, and somehow the internet over the last few days has really turned this and conforted this into me exposing Nadia for her cheats and having clear-cut evidence of her cheats. So I do want to clarify this really quickly. My buddy made a program to catch Vanguard cheaters on the rank play system. I've made that very clear. I've also told Nadia publicly multiple times that I don't care about her. My video is going to be unbiased. I don't need her. I'm not looking for clout. I'm not looking for money. Don't need any of that stuff.
This man just spit out more garbage than a landfill. I don't even know where to start. We'll just go from the beginning. He starts blaming the internet as if people got it all twisted and got it fucked up. Oh, you've misconstrued it. You know, the internet's bastardized and perverted my point. They think that I had evidence against Nadia and this and that. I don't even know where they got the idea from. Doug, they got it from you. For days you were talking about how you have all of this proof of cheaters and cheaters are a bad thing and insinuating that you've got stuff on Nadia. And like, you put that idea in everyone's head. They got that information and that idea directly from your mouth. So I don't know why you're trying to spin it like, oh, you guys, you went wild with these crazy ideas, none of which I influenced at all. I didn't do any of that. You guys are just weird to think that I had this evidence or any real proof against Nadia. Like, it blows my mind. That you've tried to now blame people for getting it wrong because you have absolutely nothing. He then shouts out his friend's anti-cheating program, which he mentioned a few times in the beginning of the video, but I felt it was completely irrelevant to the topic, which was proving Nadia was cheating or talking about it or submitting evidence, none of which he does and none of which his friend's program helped with or did anything with. So it has no purpose in the video other than like a hashtag ad, I suppose. I don't really know. And then he goes into the biggest lie I've heard in a minute. This is a straight cap from top to bottom. How he's not doing this for clout or attention or anything. That's all this was. Oh, here, I'll make this weird fucking video. Like, you did all of this for clout, 100%. There's no other motivation here. I guess you can fall back on the defense mechanism of calling it a troll, but even still, it's done poorly. So if the goal was to troll people, you did it at the expense of your own reputation and the goodwill from the community that you still had left over. So the joke at the end of the day is on you. So the real only purpose to the video was just views, which you got because this is more viewed than your recent uploads. But I just don't see why you do it when it comes at such a high price to your image. There's really nothing in this video. This video is like 99% you just working out or flexing and talking about nothing. You don't even really mention Nadia's cheating allegations or provide any evidence. You provide legitimately no evidence. You don't make any points. You just don't talk about anything in the video. There's just nothing of substance here. So there's only one conclusion to draw. That you did this whole song and dance, you made this video for clout.
It all just became clear.
I can't play the music from here because of DMCA, but he concludes the video by parking his jet ski, walking up on the dock, and pretending to propose to Nadia. It is so fucking embarrassing. Everyone with eyes was sad to see this. It is painful to look at. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a bit because Doug just really made a complete fool out of himself. That's about it. See ya. No one likes Twitter. Twitter is trash. We all know this. It's not a hot take and it's not exactly brave. No one's going to sit there and like applaud me like, hey, Charlie's really finally saying what everyone else is too afraid to say. No. Everyone knows Twitter is probably the worst social media platform to ever exist. The more you engage with Twitter, the more likely you are to throw yourself into an oncoming train. But just like everyone else, I become a little zombie and check Twitter every now and then just to scroll through and see what's going on in the world and the people around me, what's going on with all of them. Twitter's a lot like my asshole. It's stinky and full of shit, but I can't help but play with it sometimes. And this morning I got up and I checked Twitter, and something just immediately made my day worse for having read it. Twitter is the real-life equivalent of the chapter black tape from Yu Yu Hakusho. This is an obscure, turbo weeb shit reference, but in Yu Yu Hakusho, there's something called the chapter black tape, which is just a collection of all of humanity's most horrifying moments. Just this phase montage of like war crimes and horrible, horrible shit. And when someone watches that tape, they begin to hate humanity and are convinced that they're not worth saving, that humanity doesn't deserve to survive. That's what Twitter is. But instead of like showing you horrifying crimes, it shows you horrifying takes and convinces you that the world is too stupid and humanity's not worth saving because we're too fucking dumb. This is the tweet that really greased my ass first thing this morning that I want to talk about. Hot take, but I feel once you've reached this level of wealth, maybe you should be using said wealth to benefit the impoverished and not use it to recreate a show that is a direct critique of the exact thing being done here, but hey, that's just me. This is in reference to MrBeast and his upcoming Squid Game video. This is not a hot take, this is a dumb take. This is what scientists call posting cringe on main. This is a stupid fucking statement. Squid Game, the actual show, cost $21.4 million to make. That money could have been used to help the impoverished in the community, but it wasn't. It was used for entertainment. Interesting. It decides to critique society while also participating in it. Very curious. It's critiquing something that it is directly benefiting from. Interesting. Why didn't they point that out in this tweet? The $21 million for Squid Game, the show, is a lot more than the $2 million MrBeast is spending. Why didn't they mention that? It's weird that they focused on MrBeast, who is well known for helping a lot of people through his videos and the money those videos make. What's interesting is, the Squid Game money and all that's generated for Netflix will never go to helping people, but MrBeast making this Squid Game video and the money that will make will directly go to food banks that MrBeast owns and helps people with. So they chose someone who is literally going to be helping people with the money the Squid Game makes, instead of the Squid Game itself, which was 10 times what MrBeast spent and will never help anyone in the community. And I'm not saying the Squid Game team has that obligation and they have to use the money in that way. I'm not here to control how they spend their money, but Twitter certainly is. This user seems to think it's MrBeast's responsibility to use his wealth in the Squid Game cost to help the community around him, but why isn't that responsibility also shared by the much more expensive actual Squid Game? It's also just a dumb nothing burger of a statement that can be used for literally anything ever. It boils down to MrBeast spent a lot of money on this video, which could have been used as a donation. You can say that for movies. Why do we even have movies when the money spent making those movies could have been used for a donation instead? Why do we have music when the millions spent producing those albums could have been used as a donation instead? The user that posted this might be married. Why did you spend $10,000 on a wedding ring when that could have been used as a donation instead? You don't need a $10,000 rock to prove you love someone. Why not just donate that money? It's just something that is silly and can be said for everything. Targeted at one of the only wealthy people in general who are constantly helping the community and people around him. I made a video recently talking about MrBeast. I'm not his fucking PR manager, but he's one of the only genuine wealthy people that are constantly doing everything they can to help other people. You only have to scroll 3 tweets on his Twitter to see this massive food drive he just did to help the impoverished and people around him. But I'm going to go ahead and again focus on the stuff he does off camera real quick, because a lot of people critique MrBeast saying he's only doing this for attention and views. They can't wrap their head around the idea that maybe he actually just likes to help people, so they just try and attack this made up idea of who he is. He's only doing it for views and attention. I'm again going to focus on his off camera stuff. I got to see that massive food warehouse, and that food warehouse also has a massive refrigeration unit that allows them to do more than just non-perishable canned goods. It allows them to do vegetables and cold products as well, and it's an extremely rare thing to have because it costs so much. But MrBeast went the extra mile with his food bank because he wanted it to be able to serve his community in the best possible way. And this is like a full-time job that he has, running that food bank. He also has that MrBeast's philanthropy channel. I sound like a fucking advertisement for this guy, but I really suck his dick hard because he is exactly the kind of wealthy person people have been begging for, and he's still getting shit for it. That MrBeast philanthropy channel, 100% of the revenue that makes and the brand deals all go into that food bank, which is serving his community. He is doing like millions of pounds worth of food to his community every month, and he is running this every single day, and he is still getting steamrolled by 12-year-olds on Twitter as if he's not doing enough. All of this being done off camera, and no matter what, it's a lose-lose situation on Twitter. If MrBeast shows these things, then people attack him for being a fake, he's a fraud, he's only doing it for attention and views, and if he doesn't show these things, well then they don't exist and everyone's lying, he's making it up. No matter what you do on Twitter, it is a lose-lose situation where no one will be pleased. Twitter's a platform that is only there to be negative, bully, and shit on things no matter what, because that's the most engagement. That huge fucking dopamine hit of the extra 5 hearts on your shit just makes that cock rock hard, baby. That's what makes me so mad on Twitter, is that no matter what you do, it's never enough, because Twitter's a platform that is just made to reward shitty takes and dunking on people, even when it's just completely wrong and misguided. People are just there on Twitter to bully each other, and they try and like out-perfect each other. So they use this idea of perfection, like in this take. If I had this millions of dollars, I would obviously be donating it to the impoverished, but I don't, so I'm not responsible to help anyone. It's MrBeast's problem, time to dunk on him. Now let me spread these cheeks a little bit further and dive in. The user who posted this awful take has 16,000 tweets on their account. That's a lot. I have like 300 hours total on Twitter scrolling, and I only have 2,500 tweets. So let's just go ahead and be really generous and say they have doubled the amount of time I've spent on Twitter. So they have 600 hours worth of Twitter scrolling. There's so much more you can do to help the community than just donate money. You could have spent that 600 hours volunteering at a shelter, helping out at your local food bank. You know, you could have donated your time to helping your community, but you didn't. You chose to whine and complain on Twitter for 600 hours. Why is it only MrBeast's responsibility to help the community? Don't you also have that obligation? You're choosing not to, and I'm very disappointed. You're taking this road, and it's not just this person. I'm singling them out because this is the tweet that really, it tilted me a bit. It had me fucking inting down mid lane. Like, it was actually pretty upsetting to read. Everyone wants a wealthy person who's extremely generous to the community and doing things to help the community. And we have that with MrBeast, and he is still getting shit for it. Blows my mind. But anyway, this user is not the only one that thinks this way. They all cast this facade that they are perfect. And if they were only rich, they would save humanity. But the thing is, they're not doing anything currently to show that. This user, who is getting upset at MrBeast for not doing enough, is also doing nothing. Even though there is so much more they can do than just donating money. Like I said, there is so much you can do that isn't just financial to help the community, and they're not doing it. So why the fuck are they gonna get mad at MrBeast, who is doing both time and money constantly for the community? He is not just blindly throwing money at charities that do nothing. He is making his own organizations that are extremely efficient at it. Like, what more could you possibly want? He is doing it full time, off camera, because he is genuinely just trying to help people. And he is still getting blasted on Twitter because he spent a lot of money on a Squid Game video, where the money from that Squid Game video will most likely directly go into his philanthropy, which will in turn help a lot of people, and still getting shit for it. Twitter is a platform that just keeps you stupid and makes you dumber every time you log on to it. Everything has to be negative, even when it's like a genuinely positive situation, for no fucking reason other than just some cheap engagement and internet updoots. This was a horrible take, and so many people retweeted it, commented on it like, yes, preach, this is what I've been saying. Just donate the money instead of make a video out of it. Come on. Like, it doesn't make any sense. They could say that for everything. Instead of making movies, why not just donate all the money that the movies would have cost? There's a pretty big brain idea. Why not just do that? Why don't musical artists just donate all of the money their concerts make to charitable organizations instead of spending money on terrible art to put in their home? That's a genuinely good question. The art that they buy is terrible. You might as well just get rid of that money instead of spend it on fucking Damien Hirst pieces. Point is, it's a stupid take. Like, this was a dumb tweet that a lot of people agree with, and I see this kind of thing all the time. And it's especially silly when it targets someone who is actually doing all of the things Twitter wishes people would do. MrBeast does everything that Twitter wants other rich people to do, and it's still not good enough for them. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because Twitter is and always will be and always has been an absolute dog shit platform. That's about it. So yeah.